Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku had Red Dragon Emperor Quirk Part 2. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 3, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story HayateAnaguma from Wattpad. So let's start the video. No one POV. Izuku is in the jet that goes towards I-Island. Izuku already was invited to I-Island because he's dragon, but he also got 2 tickets because he won the sport festival, and he give the tickets to his classmates after a game of rock paper scissors. Reiko and 𝗧𝗏 won the tickets. Now in the jet is him, Itsuka, Kinoko. Setsuna and Pony. Kinoko was having problems with walking after Izuku and her had a hand-to-hand combat, and Izuku put her in the Boston Crab. For a clear photo version, go to Iona on DeviantArt and subscribe to the artist. Izuku: hey Kinoko, I wanted to talk to you about that move I did on you during our training. I'm really sorry for putting you in the Boston Crab like that. Kinoko: it's okay, Izuku. I know you were just trying to help me. Although it still hurt my legs. Izuku: still, I feel bad about it. I make it up you. Kinoko: how? Izuku leans in and gives Kinoko a gentle embrace on the lips like that. Kinoko blushes. Oh, thanks Izuku. That was unexpected. Izuku: I just wanted to show you that I care about you, as well as you Look at Itsuka, Setsuna and Pony and I don't want any strong feelings between us. Kinoko: I appreciate that, Izuku. Thank you for apologizing and for the embrace. Izuku: anytime, Kinoko. Let's continue to support each other and grow stronger together. Kinoko: thank you. After a few moments, the jet landed and they got out. Izuku had to carry Kinoko bridal style. Once they got out from the plane, many women rushed to get to Izuku, but his girlfriends glared at them, making them scared and run away. Izuku thought, hot Izuku, anyways. Why don't we head to our hotel room then look around? I'm also pretty sure an old friend lives here. Kinoko: who? Izuku: oh, she girls. She. Death stares him. Izuku: wait. She's just a friend, nothing more, nothing less. I swear. Should I tell them what they did to me? No, I don't want to hurt them like that. They're like family to me. Girls? Good. Izuku: I can forget how scary they can be, and I don't know why I'm afraid. I'm the Red Dragon Emperor. Why don't we head to our hotel room? They would agree and head to the hotel. Once they got there, they would set their stuff down and relax. Izuku would see if they had some painkillers in the store in the lobby for Kinoko. Once he returned, he would hand her the medicine to help her. Kinoko: thank you, Izuku. Izuku: no problem. Embrace her head. Reiko thought, you can do this. Tell him how you feel. But when is the right moment? Izuku: 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, what's wrong? Izuku: I forgot to pack a suit. I only had my dragon suit. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Izuku: I was told that there was going to be a party. 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Really? Man, I didn't pack one either. Izuku: maybe they sell suits on the island. Wanna go see where we can buy a pair? 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, sure. Izuku would look at the girls. Izuku: will you two be okay here? Kinoko: I'm cool with chilling here, just make sure to behave. Izuku: you know, and I do. She would give him a look like, really? Izuku: okay, fair. I do try and actively put those in their place any chance I get, but I promise I won't try anything. Ddraig: you sure you're going to keep that promise? Izuku thought, I'll try. If they piss me off enough, all bets are off. I'm breaking someone. Izuku: anyways. Me and 𝗧𝗏𝗏 are going to go look for some suits to buy. I'll bring back some for you girls. They would then leave the hotel room to look for a suit store. Izuku: man, where is this store at? 𝗧𝗏𝗏: I have no clue. Izuku: looks up to the voice of Melissa. Melissa, what you doing here? Izuku: I was invited here because I'm dragon. This is my friend. 𝗧𝗏𝗏: we're in the same class. 𝗧𝗏𝗏: hello. Izuku has said a lot about you and they're good things. Gives him a smug smile. Izuku thought, is he trying to get me killed? Melissa: that's good. I don't want to be put in a bad light. Izuku: no, I've only spoke good things about me anyways. Melissa: do you know where a suit store is? Melissa: I do. Why do you need to know? Izuku: oh, because me and 𝗧𝗏𝗏 didn't bring any suits with us. Melissa: pretty forgetful are you? Izuku: a lot has happened. Melissa: I can show you where it is. Follow me. They would follow her to the store. They would go buy a suit that would fit them. Once they were done, they would hear a loud explosion noise. Izuku, what's that sound? Toguru, it sounded like explosion. Izuku, why don't we check it out? They would agree and make their way towards the explosion and see it was a title trial like event. Izuku, that's interesting. It's to see who can destroy the robots quickly. He would then notice who was doing it. Izuku, great, let's leave. Katsuki, Deku, lands in front of him. Izuku, Sai, what do you want? Katsuki, what the hell are you doing here? Izuku, since I won the sports festival I got tickets to come here. Besides, did you also forget that I'm dragon? And I have better things to do besides being here. He would begin to leave. Katsuki, run, you pathetic. A small dragon shoot would fly past his head and would disappear before it made contact with anything. Katsuki, Izuku, that's a warning. Next time you speak without putting a thought to what you say next, I'll make sure to finish what I started at the sport festival. More like you have the guts. Izuku, I see that you still have that ego of yours thinking you're the best. Momo, because I'm Izuku Beach, I beat 3 times in a row. Momo, you got lucky. Izuku, lucky. First time I just punch you 1 time and you lost. Second I just put you in the Boston Crab and I won by 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗏. Third time I put you in a leg split and you pass out. So don't start to say that I was lucky, because we all know that's not the case. Momo got angry and tried to punch, but Izuku evaded with no effort and goes behind Momo where he German suplex her. Momo, Izuku, do you still think it's luck? He would then leave with 𝗧𝗏 and Melissa following him. Melissa, what was that? That's that red gauntlet. Izuku, oh, it my Quirk Ddraig. Say hi, Ddraig. Ddraig, hello, Miss Shield. Nice to meet you. Melissa, nice meeting you too, but what's with Katsuki and the others? Izuku, let's just say me and them don't like each other and end it with that. Melissa? Oh, Izuku, Sai, sorry Melissa, I didn't mean to sound rude, it's just a lot has happened to me. So I didn't mean to let my anger out on you. Melissa, it's okay. Izuku, I forget, when is the party? Melissa, oh, it's in a few hours. Izuku, looks at his phone. Our hotel is a 1-hour walk from here. Toguro, oh no, we should get going. Izuku, I agree, it's Suka and the others will kill me if I'm late. Melissa, then I best not hold you up. I'll see you guys at the party. Izuku, yep. See me. Melissa. Both Izuku and Toguro would run for their life to get back to the hotel so that they don't get yelled at for being late. They would arrive but notice the girls weren't happy. Atsuka, Kinoko, Setsuna, Pony, Reiko, Izuku, on his knees. Well, Toguro * watching this play out * Kinoko, want to explain why you took so long to get some suits? Izuku, well, Toguro, we met this girl named Melissa who was Izuku old friend. Izuku, gives him a look. Why in the world you said that? White, feels a murderous aura. Girls. Izuku, I swear. I didn't do anything bad. I promise. Girls, how can we believe you? Izuku, asked Ddraig. Ddraig, I can vouch for my partner, he didn't try anything. Girls, okay, we believe you. Izuku, confused. Wait, Reiko, why are you mad? Reiko, blushing. Kinoko, that's not the point right now. We got to get ready. Izuku, okay. Would get ready and would make their way to the party. Once they got there, they would see some unwanted faces. Izumi, Oni-chan. Izuku, hello Izumi. You look nice. Izumi, thank you. You look great as well. Izuku, thank. I honestly thought of not coming. Ilda, that's not Izuku, zip it walking car. Or I'll repeat what happened at the last day of middle school. I don't want to deal with your annoying voice today, huh? The windows and doors would begin to get blocked off. Izuku thought, what the hell is going on? Could the building be getting taken over by villains? Izuku would try to see if the elevator would work. Izuku, Izumi, what's wrong? Izuku, the elevator isn't working. Reiko, my phone doesn't have connection. Izuku, sigh, that just great. Melissa, wait. We can head to the top of the tower to be able to reset the system. Izuku, that's not a bad idea. How many floors are there? Melissa, 240 floor. Everyone. Izuku, with the elevator down we'll most likely have to take the stairs and we can't blast our way through. Izumi, why not? Izuku, it will alert the villains to where we are and that would cause more problems for us. Melissa, I know a way towards the top. Izuku, oh really? Then lead the way. Before we go looks at his tormentors, I'm only helping you because I don't want to see this place get taken over by villains. This doesn't mean I view any of you differently. Don't forget that they got angry, but they would begin to follow Melissa towards the top, but once they got to the 80th floor they would notice it was blocked off. Izuku, great. And we can't break it without possibly alerting the villains. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, why don't we just Izuku, don't. He would then open the door which would cause it to alert the villains who are in the control room. Izuku, you demon idiot. Why the hell did you open that? 𝗵𝗃𝗃, I was only Izuku, next time you want to help. Don't. Do you know another way, Melissa? Melissa, yes. Come on. They would then rush through the door to try and get to the next stairway but see the doors in front and behind them were closing. Izuku, oh on you don't. Dragon shot. He would fire off a smaller and less lethal dragon shot strong enough to break the closing door. They would then rush through and head to the next room. 𝗧𝗪 would tell them to wait because they hear villains coming. They would try and wait for them to pass, but they would begin to walk closer and Izuku would get ready to attack until he would see both Katsuki, Katsumi and Ejiro walking in. Izuku thought, how the hell? Izumi thought, did they get up here? They would ask for directions to where the party is, but the villains would get ready to attack them before Shoto froze the villains in ice. Shoto would then make an ice pillar under the others, making them go up onto a walkway above them. Izuku, 𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗏, looks down at them. This doesn't change a thing. They would then rush to find a way out, but Izuku would notice a vent. Izuku would ask Melissa if they could use that. She would tell him that they could be someone would need to manually go through and make the ladder come down. Izuku, alright Izumi. Can you reach that from here? Izumi, I can. Why? Izuku, see if you can pull it off its hinges. Izumi, okay. She would then use her telekinesis to then pull the vent off. Izuku, good job. Izumi, hee. Thanks. Izuku would then grab 𝗵𝗃𝗃 by the back of his clothes. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, put me down. Izuku, make yourself useful, perv. He would then throw 𝗵𝗃𝗃 into the vent. He would hear a loud noise. Izuku, worth it. They would wait a bit before seeing the ladder come down. They would climb it. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you but. Was it really necessary? Izuku, eyes glow. Want to continue with what you're saying? 𝗵𝗃𝗃, no Izuku, good. They would continue until the 130th floor and they would see a lot of robot that are stopping them from continuing to move forward. Izuku, great. This annoying Denki, it's my time to shine. Izuku, no. Denki, what? Izuku, those robots are your average ones. They're meant to be able to stop intruders, so that means they could be made to withstand high amounts of electricity, so use your brain, dimwit. Izuku would then take his suit coat off and toss it. Reiko. He would then make his boost gear appear. Izuku, ready. Ddraig. Ddraig, ready when you are, partner. Boost. Izuku would begin to fire off small yet powerful dragon shots with his fingers. Izuku, 𝗧𝗧𝗏, they just keep coming. I can't keep this up forever. He would then stop firing for a second and then fired off a more powerful shot, causing them remain robots to get destroyed. Izuku, alright, let's go. They would manage to make it to the 138th floor. They would arrive to the server room, but then more robots would come into the room. Izuku, 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗃, gets ready to fire off a dragon shot. Ddraig, partner, wait. Izuku, Ddraig, look around you. Izuku would notice it was servers. Izuku, some of them would get stopped by telekinesis. Izumi, Oni-chan, let us handle this. Take Melissa and go on ahead. Izuku, what? Kinoko, trust us. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, she's right. We can't rely on you. We need to get some action too. Itsuka, we believe in you. Reiko, you have to believe in us. Izuku, guys, smiles, alright. Let's go. Melissa. They would continue going further until they reached to where the wind generator are. Izuku, alright, now all we need to do is go up from here, right? Melissa, Izuku, alright, stand back. Melissa, but Izuku, you're about to see why. Let's go. Ddraig, Welsh dragon. Over booster. Melissa, wow. Izuku, alright. Let's go. Izuku would carry Melissa to where they need to go and Izuku would return to normal, and once they got up there they would continue to the top floor. Once they got there they would see David. Melissa, why is Papa up here? Izuku, maybe the villain took him for something. Melissa, then we need to help him. Izuku, right. They would then see them grab a briefcase with something inside. They would then hear them say that they planned for this attack. Melissa, Papa. They would then look and see Melissa and Izuku. David, Melissa, Samuel, miss, what you doing here? Melissa, what does he mean like you planned? Walks towards them. Don't tell me you're behind all this. Just to steal something, David. Yes, I am. Melissa, shocked. Samuel, the device inside of this case can amplify someone's quirk. Izuku, what? That device can do that? Samuel, yes. But it's only in testing. But unlike with Drags, this device can magnify someone's quirk without causing damage to their body and brains. Izuku thought, if that gets into the wrong hands, Izuku, you need to destroy that. David, so, that's my life's work. It will help All Might be a hero longer. Izuku, what did you say? You plan to use that too for someone like him, David? What? Izuku, that man isn't a hero. He's a fake. I let it slip. Melissa, what do you mean he's a fake? Looks at Izuku. Izuku, tch. Izuku would then explain what happened to him before his quirks manifested. David, you're lying. All Might would never do anything like that. Izuku, you must be a fool then. I've lived it. And you're going to hand that case over, 𝗵𝗲𝗃. I wouldn't so sure about that. Izuku would get hit by some metal bars and pinned to a wall. Melissa. Izuku runs to him. Izuku thought, damn it, I let my guard down. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, now you're going to hand me the case now, Sam. David, Sam, why? He would then watch Sam walk over to 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Samuel, I wanted to be acknowledged. I've been your assistant for years. And never be reward for my strong work. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you'll be rewarded like promised. Fires a bullet at him. David, Melissa, Samuel, why? This wasn't part of the plan. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, oh, you sure? Because to me it was part of my plan. He would fire another bullet again, but this time David would get in the way. Samuel, why? David, get out of here. Melissa, Papa. She would rush over to her dad but hit backhanded by 𝗵𝗃𝗃. This would piss Izuku off. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, trying to play the hero. But it's too late for that. You've already dirty your hands. It doesn't matter if we're actors or real villains. You planned and committed an actual crime here. You're exactly the same as we are. David, surprised 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you will no longer be seen as a respect scientist. Or continue your research without shame. Izuku thought, bstrd. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 would pick him up by his collar and knock him out. Melissa, no. Please don't give him back. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, that reminds me. It would be much easier if I get rid of the professor. Izuku, hey, prick. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 looks at Izuku. Izuku, I will only say this once. If you even think of firing that gun at her, I'll kill you. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, not really hero-like kid. Izuku, I don't give a damn what you think. She's my friend. And she's crying out for help. And you made one mistake tonight. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, and what's that? Izuku, you me off. Izuku eyes become Drago eyes and Izuku got engulfed with power. 𝗵𝗃𝗃. The metal that was trapping Izuku would fly off. Ddraig, Welsh dragon. Overbooster. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, oh the hell is this kid? Izuku would rush at 𝗵𝗃𝗃 and try to punch him but get stopped by a large wall. Izuku, Melissa. Melissa. She would then run past the villains to go and turn off the security. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, stop her. Don't let her escape. Izuku, no you don't. He would then break through the wall and launch a dragon shot at the villain, causing him to hit the wall and go unconscious. Izuku would get hit with by the surrounding because of 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. 𝗵𝗃𝗃 would use this chance to take David and escape. After a bit Izuku would break free and rush after them. Izuku would then see them about to get on the plane. Izuku, dragon shot. He would hit the propellers of the plane. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, what? Izuku, you're going nowhere. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, damn brat. He would send pillars of metal at Izuku but Izuku would make his wings appear and fly into the air. Izuku, I need to be careful. I don't want to hurt David. Izuku would dodge the pillars that would come at him. He would then land to the side of him and then Izuku. He shouldn't be conscious after taking a point-blank shot. He would then walk towards David and get him to safety. He would manage to get to him but notice the case was gone. Izuku, wait. Where did? He would have gotten hit with a metal pillar then the get grabbed by some metal pipes. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, you almost had me there, brat. That attack would have been the end of all this. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃. Wait. I have an interesting idea. And it will end this in one shot. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, what's so funny, brat? Izuku, nothing. Just that I noticed something. 𝗵𝗃𝗃, what? Izuku, you're covered in metal. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃. Izuku, say hello to my little friend. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁𝗃. A bolt of lightning struck 𝗵𝗃, then a roar was heard. 𝗵𝗃 fall out of the smoke alive and was unconscious. Izuku, man, that took a lot of energy to do. Ddraig, you did use a lot of energy today. Izuku, you're right, I don't mind taking a small nap. Izuku would then fall unconscious from exhaustion, and once he woke up he would notice that he was on Kinoko's lap in his hotel room. Izuku, damn this ceiling light, what happened? Kinoko, you fell unconscious from overusing your energy. Izuku, right, I did. What happened after I fell unconscious? She would then explain what happened. Izuku, I'm glad you guys are okay. Smiles. Kinoko, yeah, and you missed the party for the heroes. Izuku, I did. Minute. Kinoko, want to make it up to me? Izuku, Kinoko, meet me here. Tells him the place. Izuku, alright. After a while Izuku would meet at the location, but he wouldn't see Kinoko. Izuku, weird. I was told he would get tapped on his shoulder. Izuku. Oh, Kinoko, blushing. Reiko, hello. Izuku, Izuku. Oh, Reiko, what you doing here? Reiko, I want to tell you something. Izuku, okay, what's that? Reiko, takes a deep breath, you can do this. I love you. Izuku, please let me go out with you. Izuku, I don't. Kinoko, it's okay. Izuku. Izuku would then see Itsuka, Kinoko, Setsuna and Pony walkouts. Kinoko, I asked Itsuka beforehand and she's okay with it. But you'll own her and the other, including me and Reiko. Unforgettable time. Izuku, blushing, why do? Reiko, do you not want to date me? Izuku, that's not it, I was just caught by surprise. I would love to date you. Reiko smiles, she would smile and then embrace him. She would then break the embrace and grab both his hands. Reiko, can we have a dance? Izuku, sure. They would dance together for a while. She would rest her head on his shoulder. Once they were done, Itsuka and the others would want to turn, so Izuku would spend a few hours dancing with all of them. They would then return to their hotel to sleep. Once they woke up they would pack their stuff and then head back to Japan, but before leaving Izuku would talk with Melissa. Izuku, I wanted to apologize, Melissa, for Izuku, what I said about All Might. Melissa, oh Izuku, I didn't want to say anything about it, but it slipped out. Melissa, it's okay, I don't hate you for it. Izuku, I know how you looked up to him and I didn't want to ruin that for you. Melissa, it's okay, I did look up to him, but now Izuku. Melissa, I want to do my best to support you. Izuku, thanks. I'll make sure to help you then in the future. Smiles. Melissa, you better. Smiles. They would hug and then say their goodbyes to each other, and Izuku and the others would get into the plane and head home. Once Izuku for home, he would arrive home. Izuku would then get a text from Izumi saying she's spending the night at Aizawa's and Emi's place. Izuku, weird, I wonder why she texted me that. Izuku would then head to his room and see Izuku looks away, blushing. What the hell? Why are you in my room? Kinoko, I told you. Izuku, I thought you were joking. Itsuka, no, I was very much serious. Setsuna, now, come here tiger, we're losing time. Izuku, F it. He would then take his clothes off and would begin to have a very eventful night with his girlfriends. The next he would walking through halls and he would look exhausted. To growl, what's wrong? Did your girls not let you sleep? Laughs. Izuku, gives a look to shut up, you're lucky I don't have the energy to deal with you. To growl, come on. It was just a joke. Izuku, ugh, whatever. Then they heard an explosion. They got outside and saw a crowd of people who gather around something. Izuku managed to get past the crowd and saw what happened. Katsuki was on top of Ibra and Ibra had explosions marks on her body. Izuku BLD boiled. Izuku, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃. A bolt of lightning hit the ground and 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 appear next to Katsuki. Izuku moved fast and punched Katsuki in the face, getting him off Ibra. Then Izuku pick up Ibra and put it on 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃's back. Izuku, get Ibra to recovery girl office. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 nod and leave. Izuku eyes changed into dragon eyes and looked at Katsuki. Izuku, I'm going to make you regret doing this. Part of the fight is inspired by Rick's 999 no one POV. Izuku and Katsuki are staring at each other and walk in circles and glaring. Izuku felt only anger and fury for Katsuki. His worst bully all his life tried to hurt his classmate. Izuku knew that he had to beat the knowledge into his empty head. For Katsuki, anger was different. How dare Deku to punch him while he was putting someone in their place? It was time to put the quirkless BSRD in his place. Katsuki charged at Izuku with a right hook and launched an explosion, but Izuku, who could read Katsuki like an open book, he easily evaded. Katsuki tried then aimlessly attempts to But Izuku dodged everything. Izuku's sad. The one who bullied me all my life is now just an idiot who think he's better than anyone. Katsuki, because I'm Izuku, and yet you didn't even land a hit on me. That just proves how weak you are. Katsuki snapped and tried to attack Izuku, but the same thing happened. Katsuki, you think you're though Izuku lower than you. Dodge, you lack 𝗬𝗲𝗄𝗏, dog D control asterisk dodge asterisk, and worst asterisk dodge asterisk, you're sloppy. Izuku kicked Katsuki in the face, breaking his nose. Katsuki wiped his nose and saw BLD, his BLD. How dare Deku to break his nose. Katsuki launched at Izuku and unleashed a big explosion that hit Izuku. Katsuki, did you see that, Deku? I'm the #1 hero. Everyone should be beneath me. They should bow to me. Once again, you speak too soon. The dust cleared, revealing Izuku in his balance breaker, and walked towards Katsuki like nothing happened. Izuku, you're far from being a hero. You said that everyone should bow to you and you are power, but why would they do such a thing? When you only fight for yourself. Eyes glow green, you're not the one. Izuku balance breaker disappeared, but his glowing eyes remained and he punched Katsuki in the face. Izuku, I'll fight, not only for myself, but for everyone. I'll fight with the price of my life to protect everyone. Izuku beat the SHT out of Katsuki. The crowd around them saw how Izuku was on another league than Katsuki, but what was bothering them is that Izuku only used his normal strength. Katsuki is unconscious. Then the teachers came and took both of them. Later Katsuki was with his parents because they were called to come. Izuku was also sitting in a chair and next to him was Arc Regulus. Nizu already showed them the footage apparently. Ibra offered her help to Katsuki to let down his anger, but Katsuki responded with violence and said that he'll send her to God. Nizu, as you can see, Mr. and Mrs. Bakugo. Your son injured one of my students. Recovery girl said that she'll be okay, but I won't tolerate such a thing from your son. Mitsuki, I understand principal. Masaru, many times we tried to make our children to listen to us, but it's like talking to a wall. Mitsuki, the punishment is in your hands, principal. Nizu asterisk, look at Katsuki asterisk, you're expelled and blacklist from every hero school. Katsuki, what? You can't do that. I'm the #1 hero. Nizu, I already saw what #1 you're. #1 villain. And to make it official. Nizu grabbed a pair of scissors and cut Katsuki UA identity card. Nizu, officers, take him away. 2 Tartarus officers came, placed Quirk canceling cuffs on Katsuki hands and leave with him to Tartarus. Katsumi, mom, please do something. They can't take him away. Mitsuki, I told both of you so many times to start to change, but neither you nor him changed. You remained the same. Katsumi, but he deserved to be a hero. Masaru, what kind of hero bullies someone for something beyond its control? Your brother almost took the life of someone today. Katsumi asterisk, angry asterisk, that beach deserve it. Slap. Mitsuki slapped Katsumi so strong. A handprint appear on her face. Mitsuki, out of my sight. From this day on, you're no longer my daughter. Neither Katsuki. Both of you are disowned. Katsumi leave crying. After a few minutes, Mitsuki and Masaru leave as well. Nizu, now, the punishment for you, nephew. Although I'm happy that you saved your classmate, you did use your quirk. But your punishment will be lighter. You're suspended for 2 days. Izuku, I understand, uncle. And Izuku leave time skip. Thanks to Nico Kurumi, Izuku was still suspended from school, but he could watch how his classmates train on the time he's suspended. Midnight created training uniforms for 1A and 1B girls. Now it was time for Quirkless training. Kinoko Komori from 1B and Tsuyu Ajui from 1A are face-to-face against each other. Tsuyu wore the uniform Midnight design for her. Her uniform consisted in a green BR, green shorts and black sneakers, training camp sneakers. Kinoko's wore the uniform Midnight design that had red and white spots just like her hero costume. It just had a lot less fabric. She had a little beanie instead of her usual giant mushroom hat. She had a bikini-style top that proved that she had quite a bit more cleavage than someone would think just from glancing at her hero costume. Then she had a tiny, swishy little miniskirt with the shortest pair of shorts ever. Beneath it, she was still wearing her hero costume boots. Kinoko had wide hips, thick thighs, and a fat, but she didn't look super muscular. But she looked curvy and solid. She looked like she could definitely crush something between those thighs. Kinoko tried to take Tsuyu straight down to the mat. Tsuyu whipped her ankles with her long tongue. Kinoko tripped and fell down. Kinoko, hey. Before Kinoko could complain anymore, 𝗬𝗪 took control of her and put her into a very unique 𝗬𝗪's special hold. It started off as a basic full Nelson. 𝗬𝗪 trapped Kinoko's arms up above her head and crossed her fingers together behind Kinoko's head. Kinoko was laying on top of 𝗬𝗪. Trapped, she kicked her legs, trying to get out. But 𝗬𝗪 soon put a stop to that too. She put her feet between Kinoko's thick thighs and spread them out. Then 𝗬𝗪 added her special twist to this hold. Something she developed as her unique move over many practice. When she bullied Izuku, 𝗬𝗪 shot out her long tongue and wrapped it tight around Kinoko's throat. Kinoko immediately let out a surprised gagging sound as she felt the wet, surprisingly strong rope-like tongue wrap itself around her neck. 𝗬𝗪 kept winding her tongue around and around until no part of Kinoko's neck was visible. Kinoko, allowed. Midnight stepped forward. Midnight, didn't you hear me say no quirks? 𝗬𝗪. Kinoko, why ya? 𝗬𝗪, but it's just my tongue. Kinoko, Midnight was amused by the creative hold and was glad to see 𝗬𝗪 putting her special skills to good use. But this wasn't the point. Midnight, sorry 𝗬𝗪, but this counts. No tongue. 𝗬𝗪, okay? 𝗬𝗪, disappointed, unwound her tongue from her opponent's throat and put it back in her mouth. She let her out of the full Nelson too, and they both just reset. Kinoko looked slightly disgusted by the fact that she'd just been nearly strangled to sleep by 𝗬𝗪's tongue. That was not how she wanted the match to start. Kinoko, let's see how well you do without your tongue. 𝗬𝗪, sorry. 𝗬𝗪 didn't realize that what she'd really done was irritate Kinoko, who was now all the more eager to take her down, and she did. Kinoko tackled her froggy opponent down to the mat and overpowered her. 𝗬𝗪, like the other 1A girls, was not used to being on the defensive. Her and the others from 1A thought they're invincible. After a little back and forth grappling, 𝗬𝗪 found herself staring right up at the ceiling. She was trapped on top of Kinoko and she was in a rear naked choke. Kinoko, this is much better. Good luck using your tongue to get out of this one. 𝗬𝗪 could feel Kinoko's sizable melons squished against her back. It was distracting, but she forgot about them once Kinoko started to really flex her arms and show 𝗬𝗪 that she meant business with this hold, and she was very capable of knocking her out to being on the defensive. After a little back and forth grappling, 𝗬𝗪 found herself staring right up at the ceiling. She was trapped on top of Kinoko and she was in a rear naked choke. Midnight, very nice. 𝗬𝗪, I think you're going to take a little nap if you don't tap out. 𝗬𝗪's eyes were wide with surprise. Not only was she not used to losing, she wasn't used to being choked strong like this. Kinoko was really throttling her and it felt like her neck was being crushed. Kinoko, not even your tongue could save you now. 𝗬𝗪 was losing consciousness already, but she was the sort of girl who was good at remaining calm under pressure. She knew that struggling and squirming wasn't really going to get her anywhere, especially since Kinoko had already added a bit of a 𝗬𝗧𝗟 to the hold. Holding onto 𝗬𝗪's waist nice and tight with her thighs, 𝗬𝗪 tried to elbow the girl who was choking her out from behind. Striking was allowed. After all, she didn't really get a good hit in, but she did make Kinoko move. Enough so that she could slip a hand between her throat and Kinoko's arm. Kinoko, where do you think you're going? Midnight had expected 𝗬𝗪 to get dominated like Achiko had, but it seemed like she was going to get a bit more of a fight here. 𝗬𝗪 somehow actually managed to slip out of the rear naked choke and get away. Kinoko, get back here. They were back to grappling. Kinoko was aggressive. She was really trying to overpower and manhandle 𝗬𝗪 for what she did to Izuku. 𝗬𝗪 was slippery and evasive. Midnight thought that 𝗬𝗪 looked a little bit lost. She clearly was not used to fight someone who could really keep up with her. Unlike how she dominated Izuku back in the day, Kinoko wasn't as easily distracted by 𝗬𝗪's flat, soft tummy and bare thighs. Kinoko came out on top. Her thighs found 𝗬𝗪 and clamped down strong. Kinoko was short, but her thighs were thick and powerful. She trapped 𝗬𝗪 in a reverse head scissor. Kinoko, now this is a hold that you're not going to get out of. This is for what you did to Izuku. You won't escape. 𝗬𝗪 could see why Kinoko's thighs were getting harder and harder as she flexed and tightened the hold. Kinoko had a big, firm but that was looming right in front of 𝗬𝗪's face. The harder Kinoko squeezed, the closer that 𝗬𝗪 got to her, but the tiny, flimsy little skirt was resting on top of 𝗬𝗪's face. There was nothing in the way of 𝗬𝗪's view. Flashback, 𝗬𝗪 was reverse head scissor Izuku in classroom. She used her tongue to stop his hands from trying to escape. 𝗬𝗪*, evil smile * enjoy. The view, 𝗬𝗪 hardened the head scissor until Izuku passed out. Flashback, and 𝗬𝗪 tried to turn the tables and reach up with her own thighs for a sort of 69 position counter head scissor, but Kinoko got out of the way and then grabbed 𝗬𝗪's thighs and shoved them back down. Kinoko, nice try. But that's not going to work. Maybe that little trick worked before on Izuku, but it's not going to fool me. Like I said, you won't get out of this hold. You're either going to tap out or you're going to go to sleep. 𝗬𝗪 was really starting to feel like 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 was right. It felt like there was just no way out from between these thick thighs. She kept trying to get a hand between the powerful legs and her vulnerable throat, just like with the rear naked choke, but it was impossible. Her legs were just squeezing her so tight. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏's fat but was totally dominating her. Midnight, I think she's right, 𝗬𝗪. The usually very level-headed 𝗬𝗪 began to panic a little bit. She was being crushed. It felt like her jaw was in a compactor. That was how strong 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏's thighs were. 𝗬𝗪 desperately grabbed at the butt that was right in front of her, sinking her hands into the firm cheeks, squeezing, pushing, trying to do anything she could. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, I think you're having too much fun back there. It seems you like this. Why don't you just go ahead and surrender? We both know I'm winning this match. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 just kept squeezing and squeezing. 𝗬𝗪 knew it was over. She tapped out on the butt that had just put her in her place. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 gave 𝗬𝗪's neck one last little pulse of muscle and then got off of her. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, I assume you're going to surrender now. 𝗬𝗪 coughed and got up a little bit slower. 𝗬𝗪, no. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, no. Did I just squeeze you so strong you forgot what happened? Did I knock you out actually? 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, genuinely sounding kind of confused as to why 𝗬𝗪 was insisting on continuing the match. 𝗬𝗪, no. I know I can still win. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, that's what you think, huh? Let's see if you still think that after this round. Midnight was glad to see the 1A sticking in there and taking their punishment. They were certainly persistent. She had to give them that. She had hoped that they'd all be learning how out of their league they were the long and strong way, purely for education purposes of course, not because she wanted to watch more. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 tried to take 𝗬𝗪 off guard by throwing a quick jab. 𝗬𝗪 dodged it easily. The next punch not so much. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 sunk her first into 𝗬𝗪's flat stomach. 𝗬𝗪 had very little fat, except somewhere it counted, and not really a ton of abs either, so the punch felt like it really got in there deep. 𝗬𝗪 felt like her organs had been rearranged slightly. The wind was knocked out of her. She really hadn't been expecting such a punch from this smiling little short stack in her spotted uniform. 𝗬𝗪 doubled over. Nothing in all her dominating Izuku back in the day had prepared her for a sucker punch like this, a brutal uppercut. It would have been easy for 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 to finish her off then, maybe with a strong kick right to the head or another solid punch, but that wasn't really 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏's style. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 wanted to play. She took her froggy little opponent down onto the mat and put her back into a reverse head scissor. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, back where you belong. Midnight was really enjoying the view of this hold, looking at 𝗬𝗪 wedged in there so tight, and she agreed with 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 that it really was where she belonged. 𝗬𝗪 hadn't even recovered from the punch, and now she could feel herself being squeezed to sleep again already. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, actually no. We kind of already did this, didn't we? I want you to get an even closer look at this. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 reached behind her so that she could give her own but a nice firm slap that left it jiggling a little right in front of 𝗬𝗪's face. Getting an even closer look turned out to mean ditching the reverse head scissor, which could have easily put 𝗬𝗪 to sleep in just a few seconds, and just sitting down on 𝗬𝗪's face. 𝗬𝗪, it's Midnight, I can't really hear you, 𝗬𝗪. But if you're asking if this is allowed, the answer is yes. It's absolutely allowed. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, I bet that's not what she's saying. I bet she's begging. But what she should really be doing is tapping. Midnight crouched down to get a better look at the very effective smother hold that was rendering 𝗬𝗪, her student, helpless. Midnight, oh, I agree. I really don't see poor 𝗬𝗪 getting out of this one. 𝗬𝗪 also felt like that, even though she couldn't really hear the conversation that was going on because her whole head had basically been swallowed up by her opponent's fat. But Midnight, although I also would have liked to see you really go for it with the reverse head scissor and put her to sleep. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, maybe next round. But she'll surrender after this if she knows what's good for her. If you want to see my reverse, just watch me next round with 𝗬𝗪. She won't get enough of it. Midnight, I can see why 𝗬𝗪 could see and feel why at first she really resisted and tried to push 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, but off of her face she needed air and there was just no way she was getting it from underneath this. But 𝗬𝗪 made a little bit too much progress with that escape attempt. So 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 had to shut it down. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏 kept control of 𝗬𝗪's arms, and once she grabbed 𝗬𝗪's wrists, 𝗬𝗪 was at a real disadvantage here since she couldn't see what was going on at all due to her whole face being smothered. 𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗧𝗏, who was already totally dominating, cemented the hold even further by pinning 𝗧𝗏's arms down to the mat underneath her knees. Now 𝗧𝗏 felt really helpless. There was nothing she could do except kick her legs around and try to buck her hips. It was kind of a pathetic sight. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 just calmly sitting on 𝗧𝗏's face, hands on her hips, looking smug, while 𝗧𝗏 kicked and struggled, in desperate need of air. Midnight decided that this might just be her favorite hold of the day so far. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 still no tapping. Don't tell me you're enjoying yourself down there. Don't get any ideas. 𝗧𝗏 was getting ideas, but not really what 𝗧𝗏𝗀 was thinking about. 𝗧𝗏's ideas were more like, why did Midnight set this up, and why does 𝗧𝗏𝗀 have such a fat, juicy butt, and then eventually, I need to tap out immediately, otherwise I'll be unconscious under her juicy butt, which would be embarrassing. 𝗧𝗏 tapped out, which was a little difficult with her wrists pinned underneath knees, but she made it work after doing a quick little bounce on 𝗧𝗏's face that was totally unnecessary. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 got up. She didn't want to, but she did. She really could have sat there all day. She enjoyed the position and was getting used to her throne more and more. Midnight, you might want to consider surrendering. That last round was a little bit one-sided. 𝗧𝗏, I'm not surrendering just because you sat on my face. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, I guess you're going to have to go back between my thighs then. Even though 𝗧𝗏 had been warned, she still couldn't do anything about it. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 pounced on her and took her right down to the mat. Midnight was clearly glad that the match was continuing. She was quite curious to see what 𝗧𝗏𝗀 had planned. 𝗧𝗏 was on her back. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 was sitting on top of her. She was straddling her. 𝗧𝗏 struggled to free herself and slip out from underneath. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 open hand slapped 𝗧𝗏 right across the face. It was a real firm, strong slap. It was loud. It left a red handprint for a moment. 𝗧𝗏 looked a little stunned in a way. It was worse than getting punched like she had earlier. There was something about a slap that said, you aren't even worth my full effort. Also, it still hurt pretty bad before 𝗧𝗏 could really even react to the blow. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 slapped her again with her other hand across her other cheek. Another brief handprint. Now 𝗧𝗏 looked pretty dazed. She wasn't even looking at anything in particular. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, I'm not done either. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 was still on top. She slid forward until she was straddling 𝗧𝗏's neck. Her full weight was now just flattening 𝗧𝗏's slender little throat. 𝗧𝗏 began to make some pained little gurgling sounds that ended up sounding very frog-like. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, look at you down there. I bet you wish you'd surrendered last round now. Well, here's your last chance to surrender before things get even worse for you again. 𝗧𝗏 said nothing. She didn't tap either. Her tongue was lolling out of her mouth. She didn't look dazed anymore. Now she just looked a little panicked. She grabbed at 𝗧𝗏𝗀's thick, squishy thighs and tried to budge the girl who was currently crushing her again. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, no. Okay, fine. But don't say I didn't warn you. Midnight, you were warned, 𝗧𝗏. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 reached down and grabbed 2 handfuls of 𝗧𝗏's hair. It wasn't so that she could make this whole thing more catfight. Why, she didn't need to do that. She had just slapped her. After all, she was just grabbing her hair so that she could yank her head up into her crotch. Then she kicked out her legs behind 𝗧𝗏's head, stretching them out and crossing her ankles. It was totally over for 𝗧𝗏 at that point. Midnight, lovely head scissor. I really don't think she'll be getting out of this either. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, no, she's not. Trust me. 𝗧𝗏 wasn't just getting choked out by 𝗧𝗏𝗀's thick thighs. It felt like her whole head was being crushed. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 had more than enough thigh to make that possible. She kept holding onto 𝗧𝗏's head for a moment, really pulling her in there deep so that pretty soon she was also being smothered by 𝗧𝗏𝗀's crotch. 𝗧𝗏's face was pressed right up against her. She could feel the smooth fabric of her tiny shorts that Midnight had designed. She could taste her too. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, this is usually when you should start to tap. But I guess I can squeeze extra strong just for you. 𝗧𝗏 grabbed onto the thighs that were dominating her and tried to slip her hand between them but couldn't. 𝗧𝗏 rocked them back and forth until 𝗧𝗏𝗀 fell onto her side. This didn't help at all. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 wasn't sitting on her 𝗧𝗏 anymore, but her thighs were still wrapped tightly around her head. Now she was just on her side. Well, great, her whole head still felt like it was being crushed by 𝗧𝗏𝗀's powerful legs, and there was nothing she could do about it. 𝗧𝗏 had never been so overpowered. 𝗧𝗏 tapped out on 𝗧𝗏𝗀's hip, just slapping away desperately. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 kept the head scissor on for an entire long second, during which 𝗧𝗏 became nervous that her tapping would be ignored and 𝗧𝗏𝗀 was just going to KO her, but she was let go. 𝗧𝗏 still wouldn't surrender. Midnight and 𝗧𝗏𝗀 were both surprised by this, since 𝗧𝗏 was looking pretty bad now, a little shaky, but 1A girl's just so stubborn. 𝗧𝗏𝗀, fine by me. But this will be the last round, one way or another. 𝗧𝗏𝗀 seemed a little irritated that her opponent was still on the mat with her. Why wasn't this beach submitting to her? She came at 𝗧𝗏 with a vengeance and took her down easily. 𝗧𝗏 was offering less resistance than before. Now she'd been beaten down. She was 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 beach. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 sat down on 𝗧𝗏's back and put her into a camel clutch, but a normal camel clutch was apparently too nice for 𝗧𝗏. It was a brutal camel clutch, and 𝗧𝗏 was totally being turned into a pretzel and bent way past her limits. But 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 had something new in mind, a little payback for the start of the match. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 had one hand right under 𝗧𝗏's chin, pulling her back and stretching her out. She took her other hand and reached into 𝗧𝗏's open mouth. 𝗧𝗏 was very surprised by this. 𝗧𝗏 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, give me this. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 grabbed 𝗧𝗏's incredibly long and stretchy tongue, pulled it out, and began wrapping it around 𝗧𝗏's throat. She was actually strangling 𝗧𝗏 with her own tongue. 𝗧𝗏 choked and gagged. Her eyes were wide with surprise. She really had not been expecting this. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 wrapped it around and around, tighter and tighter, until finally she gave it one last yard yank, and 𝗧𝗏 felt like she was being brutally garroted with part of her own body. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, how does it feel? Not very nice. This is how Izuku felt when you choked him. And yes, Izuku told us what you and your class did. 𝗧𝗏 made a pained gagging sound. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 responded by pulling on her tongue even harder. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, maybe next time you'll think twice about sticking out this tongue of yours. This had never happened to 𝗧𝗏 before. She was at a total loss as to what she should do. She was drooling out of the corners of her mouth. She couldn't help it. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't really move her arms at all since they were trapped so tightly behind 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏's knees. This was really how she was going to get knocked out this match. Like this. She was seriously glad that there was nobody else in the gym to see such a humiliating and uniquely pathetic way to go out. Nobody except for Midnight. Anyway, wait. Shouldn't Midnight be helping her? Midnight had already decided that whatever was going on here was against the rules, but she was enjoying watching it so much that she was just letting it happen anyway. Plus, since 𝗧𝗏 had used her tongue to her advantage earlier, it was only fair. But when it really started to look like 𝗧𝗏 was going to get choked out, her face was quite red and she was still drooling. Midnight decided to step in and actually enforce the rule. Midnight, I know 𝗧𝗏 kind of did this to you earlier, but this is against the rules. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, it is. I'm so sorry. I guess you're saved. 𝗧𝗏. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 let go of 𝗧𝗏's tongue and it shot back into her mouth like a wet tape measure. But 𝗧𝗏 really wasn't saved. She was no longer being strangled by her own tongue, but she was still trapped in a camel clutch, and now 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 could really focus on the camel clutch. She pulled 𝗧𝗏 back as far as she could possibly go, but 𝗧𝗏 didn't show any sign giving up. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 let go and got up. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 got irritated and sat on 𝗧𝗏 back again. This time, 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 was on the other side, towards 𝗧𝗏 legs. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 grabbed 𝗧𝗏 legs and put her in the Boston Crab. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, how do you like this, then? 𝗧𝗏 couldn't speak from pain. Her legs almost reached her head. 𝗧𝗏 crying *I surrender. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 let 𝗧𝗏 back down, then stood up. 𝗧𝗏 was just laying there. Midnight was glad that the match had produced exactly the results she had thought it would. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 goes to change, but on the way there Izuku was at the door. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, Izuku, what are you doing here? Izuku, I just wanted to say thank you for doing that to 𝗧𝗏. I know that I'm not supposed to be angry at them because I'm better than them, but I loved how you defended me. Thank you. Izuku walked towards 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 and hugged her. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 hugged back. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏, you're welcome, Izuku. They look at each other's eyes. He gently wrapped his arms around her close as they both enjoyed the peaceful moment. 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗏 looked up at him with a soft, her eyes. Izuku leaned in and pressed his lips against hers, a gentle and tender embrace that spoke volumes of their feelings for each other. The world seemed to fade away as they shared that intimate moment, lost in the warmth and comfort of each other's embrace. Later Izuku visited 𝗵𝗲𝗏, who was healed thanks to Asia. After Izuku explained the situation, Asia healed 𝗵𝗲𝗏 and told to Recovery Girl that it's her quirk. Izuku, 𝗵𝗲𝗏, how do you feel? 𝗵𝗲𝗏, better, thanks to you, our friend, Asia. Izuku, yeah. She's a very good friend. Izuku brought her some orange and got ready to leave, but 𝗵𝗲𝗏 got Izuku by the sleeve. 𝗵𝗲𝗏, can you stay longer? Izuku, sure. Izuku stood on the edge of the bed. 𝗵𝗲𝗏 got up and rested her head on Izuku's shoulder. 𝗵𝗏𝗏, what are you doing? 𝗵𝗏𝗏, I wanted to thank you for saving me. Izuku, you don't have to. I just did the right thing. 𝗵𝗏𝗏, I know. But I still want to thank you. You're too good for this world. Always put others before you. 𝗵𝗏𝗏 put a hand on Izuku's cheek and gently embraced him on the lips. Izuku was shocked about this. After a few seconds, 𝗵𝗏𝗏 released the embrace. 𝗵𝗏𝗏, I love you, Izuku. Will you be with me? Izuku, 𝗵𝗏𝗏, don't worry. I already talked with Itsuka and the others. They said it was okay to be with you. Izuku, I don't know what I did to deserve such beautifulness as girlfriends, but I'll try my best. They again no one POV Izuku is with his class ready to go to the training camp. Izuku is walking with a cane. Izuku, bro, why do you walk with a cane? Izuku, because 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃 and now I have problems with walking. Flashback 𝗵𝗃, you got good time down there. Izuku, it's great. Really? 𝗵𝗃, then show me. Grab my hips. Izuku, oh, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, you're doing fine as it is, you can just keep 𝗵𝗃**angry**. I said grab my hips. Izuku, seriously, you're the professional here, I wouldn't even know what to do, I just 𝗵𝗃 grab my hips and use me like a damn flesh bag. Flashback and Izuku, and then the neighbors couldn't sleep that day because 𝗵𝗃 apparently is a screamer. Then they got on the bus and Izuku put his headphones so he can listen to music on the ride. Ddraig * partner, you know that the mud escaped. Izuku *, unfortunately, I know. It looks like the League of Villains recruit him. Izuku, after a few minutes, could walk normally since Ddraig healed him. Izuku, thanks Ddraig. Ddraig, you're welcome, partner. Then the bus stopped. Yosetsu, did we arrive? Nito, I don't think so. Both 1A and 1B comes out from the bus and noticed that they didn't reach the destination. Momo, why did we stop? Eraserhead will take a shortcut. Long time no see, Eraserhead. Females in cat costumes / rock on with these sparkling gazes. We've come to lend a paw and help. Coming out of nowhere, stingingly cute and cat-like. Wild, wild pussycats. Thank you. Who are they? Izumi, it's the Pussycats. A veteran team of rescue heroes. Yosetsu, wouldn't that mean that they're old? Pixie grabbed Yosetsu by the head. Pixie, listen here, kid. I'm 18 at heart. At heart? Yosetsu, yes. She let him go. Izuku helped Yosetsu and told him, Izuku, never say something about age or weight to a girl or a woman. Yosetsu * scared * noted. Mandalay, the training camp is over there. Both classes looked at the direction Mandalay pointed. Izuku, this only mean that Izumi, the training camp had started. Denki, let's get back to the bus. Both 1A and 1B, except Izuku and Izumi, tried to get back to the bus, but Pixie got in their way and used her quirk to send them down. Pixie, you have to get to the training camp in 3 hours. They fall in the forest. Izuku, Ddraig on it. Ddraig materialize and caught Izuku and Izumi. Ddraig landed. Izuku, thanks Ddraig. Izumi, yes, thank you. Ddraig, no problem. Ddraig then disappeared. Mandalay, you can use your quirks. Earth monsters appear. Izuku, what do you say? Ddraig. We show them the power between our bond. Ddraig, I'm with you, partner. Izuku, balance breaker. Ddraig, Welsh dragon. Overbooster. Balance breaker appear on Izuku. Nito, no matter how many times you put that on, I cannot stop being impressed. Katsumi, I'm more strong than that tin suit. Izuku ignored her and dashed at the monsters with Eraserhead and Vlad. Eraserhead, are you sure they'll be here in 3 hours? Vlad, they're still students. Pixie, that would be our time to arrive here. Eraserhead, Vlad, King, Mandala and Pixie arrived at the training camp and they were shocked when they saw Izuku sitting on a rock, meditating. Vlad, Midoriya, how long have you standing on that rock? Izuku, about 10 minutes, sensei. Pixie, still, you didn't have any problems defeating my monsters. You were incredible. Her eyes lit up, jumping forward. Pixie, claim him, I'm going to groom him myself. Izuku, what the? Horrified as 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗃 tackles him and begins his face before letting him go and whispering in his ear. Pixie * lustful smile * I'm gonna have a lot of fun grooming you to be my husband. Izuku blush and gulp. Izuku, thought. What the hell just happened? Was I just claimed by 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗃? Itsuka and the other girls won't be happy. He thinks, unaware that his girls sneezed at the same time. Izumi and Yui, thought. Why do I feel like some girl is trying to steal our boyfriend? They think, feeling angry for some reason. Later both 1A and 1B managed to arrive and they saw Izuku sitting on a rock. Pixie, I'm impressed. I thought you all would take even longer. You didn't have as much trouble defeating my monsters as I thought. All of you were great. But sorry, Dragon Kitten here impressed me the most, so I'll be grooming him to be my husband. She hugged on to Izuku's left arm, shocking him. Izuku, thought. Wait, what's? Girlfriends, thought. Angry * you're what? Eraserhead, is she always like this? Vlad, I believe it's that time of the year. 𝗵𝗃𝗍 she's desperate for a mate, and she dozes not like older men, though it seems she's just found him. She says, sweat dropping as Eraserhead and Vlad sighs, wondering if they should worry for Izuku Midoriya, how he's having success and I don't. Itsuka, dignity, height, respect towards women's, a cute face, kind. Do you want me to continue? Setsuna ** smirk ** he's a dotated man. Itsuka, Kinoko, Reiko, Setsuna. Setsuna what? You didn't have any problems when he didn't hold back on us. Katsumi looked with hate and anger at Izuku. The pussycats brought meat which both classes started to eat. Izuku was enjoying the food, but then he noticed that Yui was staring at him for some reason. Izuku thought, why is Yui staring at me like that? After they eat and they go to sleep next day, both 1A and 1B started training A and 1B cannon. Izumi tried to maintain boulders in the air as much as she can with Izuku. He's sitting on a cliff, meditating in his mindscape. He's fighting with Ddraig. Pixie, what are you doing? Izuku, training. Pixie, but you're not moving. Izuku, that's because I do mind training. I'm sure you know about Ddraig. Pixie, we know all about both classes' quirks. Yours is a living dragon inside you. Izuku, me and Ddraig are doing mind battle. I'm fighting with Ddraig in my mind. Pixie, we know that you are dragon can materialize in the real world. Can you bring him here? Izuku, do you want your forest to turn into a crater like that time? Pixie, that time. You mean the crater from last year? It was you are doing. Izuku, yes. I couldn't control my powers well and I created that crater when I released too much power. Pixie then leave and goes towards *****, blush ***. I must say he is quite handsome in those muscles. Pixie, I know, right? I can't wait to see what my dragon is packing. Though I did notice that he has the scent of several other girls on him, even MT, Lady, Mirko, Burning and Rikyu. Ha, that kitten has a game. Pixie Bob says as **** wonders if she should call the other 4 heroines and ask them if they are in a relationship with Izuku. Katsumi saw that no one was there and decided to do a sneak attack and then pretend that she didn't saw Izuku, but as she was approaching, she heard a roar. Katsumi turned and she saw ***Regulus Izuku. If you don't want to become ***Regulus Chu-Toi, leave. Katsumi feared ***Regulus, but still maintained her glare at Izuku. Izuku, what do you want, Katsumi? And I know you're there too. The rest of 1A came from their hiding spots. Izuku, now, what do you want? Katsumi, you put my brother in prison. Izuku did that on his own. He attacked my classmate and almost killed Ibra. Ejiro, it's her fault for provoking Katsubro. Izuku, Ibra only wanted to help. That's what makes her appealing. She's always a caring person who want to help people. Unaware of them is that his girlfriends were hiding, heard and recorded everything. Ibra blushed that Izuku called her appealing. Izuku, that Mud attacked Ibra for what? She only wanted to help, but since his brain is dead, like the rest of you, you can't saw you are mistakes. Momo, we never make a mistake. Izuku, sure you'll say that. Don't forget that I one-shot you at the sport festival. At the training all I did was sitting on your back and pull your legs. Tell me, how much did it hurt when I put you in the Boston Crab? Momo glared at Izuku. Not only did he destroy her life, but also humiliated her multiple times. Katsumi, you'll get my brother out of prison. Izuku, do you really think I'm going to help a villain to get out from prison? Fat chances, beach. Katsumi was having enough and charged at Izuku with her explosions. Izuku signaled ***Regulus to not interfere. Katsumi launched a right hook, but Izuku dodged and delivered a strong knee to her stomach. Katsumi. She collapsed on the floor, holding her stomach. Izuku, you're on the ground from only a kick. I survived your quirks for 10 years. And by the way, I didn't even use Ddraig power on that kick. Denki, you mean you only do that with brute force? Izuku, that's right. Katsumi got up and tried a series of explosions. Izuku, both you and the mutt are the same. You lack DSPLN. Dodge control. Dodge and worst. Dodge. Izuku jumped above Katsumi and smashed his knee to her nose, breaking it and knocked her down. Izuku, you're sloppy. Izuku then looked at the rest of 1A. Izuku, it looks like you'll never understand. Enjoy your training camp. It will be the last. Shoto, what are you talking about? Izuku, because I've had enough of you. Once the training camp is over, I'm gonna expose you to the entire Japan and make sure you'll be put with the mutt. And Izuku leaving 1A shocked and with an unconscious Katsumi who had a broken nose time skip, thanks to Kurumi. Izuku goes to help Yui to grab more wood for the grill. Izuku, Yui, I can't help but notice you always look emotionless. Then there was silent, looks like it was sensitive topic. Izuku, I'm sorry, I ask. You was still silent when Yui, I wasn't like this before. When I was in middle school I was cheery person, they call me Sunshine because of how I smile at people and bring joy to the school, but then something happened. When I got home I saw my parents talking, then I overheard them saying that the moment I was born was a mistake. Somehow they heard me and I run away from home and I heard them calling me, but I didn't look back, and the last thing I hear was two headlights coming at me, and then next thing I knew I was already in the hospital bed. Izuku, I'm sorry for what happened to you. You shouldn't never go through something like this. Izuku listened to her story that somehow they are similar to what happened to both by their parents. Yui, when I was in the hospital for a week, my grandparents on each side and other relatives wondering what happened before they could explain. I told them everything of what I heard from them, and to say shock is an understatement. They tried to explain the situation, but soon my uncle, my mom's brother, found the real reason why my mother and father was married, because of an arranged marriage, and he lashed out on all of them, making them shut up, and that's where he draw the line. He took me in custody. That made my parents mad, but clearly my uncle was more furious at them. It took only about a day for my uncle to win my custody, as he took me in and left the city and transfer here. Izuku, with that I guess your families are powerful, since arranged marriage is something only that type of family. Yui, yeah, my family is very famous at the north of Japan, that's all I can tell you about them. Izuku, it's fine, and for what I hear you became emotionless is because of your parents and the intense stress you have, and your uncle tried to find a way to bring back the old you. Yui, yeah, but the therapist said is that I should keep doing what I always do before, but I can't do it anymore. Izuku, not alone. Yui look at Izuku in confusion. Izuku, how long have you met Itsuka? Yui, ever since I transfer here in Yuzudafu. Izuku, and she's been with you ever since then? Yui nodded. Izuku, then as long as you have her and us as you are friends, then I'm positive you will regain your emotions. Yui let a small smile on her face, and she gently pressing her lips on Izuku's, but then the embrace suddenly turns into a makeout session as Yui inserts her tongue into Izuku's mouth, shocking him. Izuku was shocked as Yui pushes him to the ground and got on top of him. Yui then releases from the embrace, her face red as she moves her hair from her face with a small smile and blushes as she hugs onto him. Izuku *blush *why Yui? Yui, Izuku, I want you. Izuku *blush *what? Yui small naughty smile I want you to F me. Izuku's face turns red as Ddraig as he looks at Yui's body before quickly looking away. Izuku thought, no, I can't do this. If I do I'm betraying Itsuka and the others, but I also don't want to break Yui's heart. Izuku, Yui, I'm sorry, but I can't do this with you. Not out here, someone would probably see us. Now that she thinks about it, Izuku has a point. She might have gotten a bit carried away. She wants him, she really does. But she knows if they have Issei out here and get caught, both would be expelled. Maybe some other time they could try and do it, because she's really curious how big he really is. She got up and they fix each other. They got the woods and returned to the tables there. Yui told the girls about Yui confession, and she joined the 𝗵𝗃 inside Izuku Mindscape. Ddraig move Yui name on the category official girlfriend. Ddraig, Yui Kodai joined in the 𝗵𝗃. Who'll be next? Also, 𝗵𝗃𝗃 make her move and advance more, leaving the three other heroines behind. Oh, Izuku, your love life is much more enjoyable than Issei. Izuku and his class went to sleep. Goes to sleep as well. Katsumi goes to sleep as well, but not before to share her location on her to someone. I'm not going to write the conversation between Izuku and 𝗃𝗃. Just imagine that they shared their stories and 𝗃𝗃 open up a little. The next day, the same training. Izumi was trying to levitate herself in the air with her telekinesis. Tsuyu decided to launch her tongue at Izuku, who was meditating, but then she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned and she saw Kinoko with her devil smile. Kinoko * devil smile *. If you don't want another round between my thighs, leave. Tsuyu immediately leave after Kinoko mentioned about her thighs. Another time skip, thanks to police officer Kurumi. Nighttime. Izuku was about to go and eat with his class, but then Ragdoll call him. Ragdoll, oh, there you are. Midoriya, can you come over here for a second? Ragdoll calls as Izuku walks over to her. Izuku, yes. What is it, Ragdoll? Ragdoll smiles. Ragdoll, you won't be eating with your friends tonight. Mandalay has requested that we talk to you privately before we start the test of courage. Ragdoll explains. Izuku, oh okay, I understand. Thanks for telling me. Ragdoll follow 𝗵𝗃𝗄. She says, but to Izuku's shock she immediately takes hold of his hand as they enter the larger building, holding open 2 doors as they walks inside to see 𝗵𝗃𝗍 and 𝗵𝘃𝗵𝗃 waiting for them, sitting at a table with several bowls of food. Ragdoll's, here's Dragon Kitten, Shino. 𝗵𝗃𝗍, thank you Tomoko, hello Midoriya, please take a seat. Izuku, yes, ma'am. They started to eat 𝗵𝗃𝗍, I wanted to thank you for talking to 𝗂𝗧. Don't get mad, but I kinda follow you up to 𝗂𝗧 hiding place and heard everything. Izuku, I'm sorry if I make anyone upset. 𝗵𝗃𝗍, don't be. Thanks to you, 𝗂𝗧 talked to us. Usually, he grabbed his food and goes to his room where he eat alone, but today he talked to us. Not much, but he talked to us and eat with us. Izuku, I'm happy for him. Later they finished their food. 𝗵𝘃𝗍, you better get ready for the test of courage. Izuku got up and ready to leave but 𝗵𝗃𝗍 grabbed Izuku by the collar and embraced him on the lips. Then 𝗵𝘃𝗍 and Ragdoll his cheeks all three. Thank you for being a great friend for 𝗂𝗧. Maybe after this, we can give you a reward. Lick their lips. Izuku gulped and leave while 𝗧𝗧𝗪 was laughing his guts. Later the training camp was attacked. Izuku is now holding his best against 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗪 who was about to kill 𝗂𝗧. Izuku, 𝗂𝗧 leave. 𝗂𝗧 was too scared to move in front of him, was the killer of his parents. Izuku is holding him back. Izuku saw that 𝗂𝗧 couldn't move from fear. Izuku, 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗧. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧 came. Izuku, take 𝗂𝗧 out of here. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧 nodded and grabbed 𝗂𝗧 by the back of its collar with his mouth and leave. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗪, you thought that because you got the kid out from the mountain will save you. 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗪 pushed Izuku more. Izuku, no. Because now I can unleash my power. Balance breaker. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪, Welsh dragon. Overbooster. Balance breaker appeared on Izuku with only a punch. He sent 𝗵𝘃𝗧𝗪 in the mountain and he passed out. Later Izuku was captured by the League of Villains because Izuku surrendered. Katsuki was one of the members and Katsumi faked her own kidnapping. Both hold Itsuka hostage and treated Izuku to surrender or they'll blow her head. Izuku surrender and compress caught him into a marble. No one POV. Izuku is tied to a chair and he's unconscious. The strange thing was that he was in balance breaker. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪 partner. Izuku, 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪, are you alright? 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, I'm fine partner. You were taken by those idiots, they called themselves League of Villains. That idiot, AFO tried to take me from you. What an idiot. Anyway, while we were in that marble, I took control and activated balance breaker. Don't worry, you still have more than enough energy since keeping balance breaker isn't taking much. Izuku, thanks 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, by the way, partner. One of the heroes who were trained you at the training camp died. It was that man Tiger. And guess who killed him? Izuku, the 2 mutts. 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, correct. Now you have to wake up. Just play by their rules that you can't escape. This way, they'll think they'll win. Izuku, I will 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. Real world. Izuku started to wake up and saw all members of the league, including the 2 new members Katsuki Bakugo and Katsumi Bakugo. Izuku, I didn't know that the League of Villains are now having mutts. Guess that make you desperate. Katsuki, what did you say? Deku. Izuku, well, since you always barking so much, you're a dog. But a bad one and you need to be put down. Katsuki got ready to unleash an explosion at Izuku, but Compress stopped him. Compress, no, don't. You'll expose us, plus he's in that armor of his. Did you forget your explosion are useless when he's in that armor? Katsuki and Katsumi clicked their tongue in annoyance. Izuku, so, can someone tell me what's going on? 𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, we want you to join us, dragon. Izuku, is that a joke? What makes you think I'll join you? 𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, you either join us or you'll die, but not before Sensei to take you our quirk. Izuku, that won't work either. You see, 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 is a unique quirk with a mind of his own. You can't steal him from me. Not even AFO can. Even if somehow, thoughts that idiot can't take 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, manage to take 𝗧𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 from me, do you think he'll obey him? 𝗵𝗃𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 growl in annoyance and leave Izuku. Then looked at the Mutt twins. Izuku, so, how's the villain life? Katsuki, it's your fault I'm like this. Katsumi, you ruined our lives. But we'll take it back. Izuku, really? Did you really think that everyone would welcome you to be heroes again? You're dumber than you look. Katsumi, jokes on you. Deku. All we have to say is that I was kidnapped by them. Katsuki, and I'll say that they forced me to join them and do their bidding to save Katsumi. Katsumi, they'll take us back and we'll be working undercover for the League of Villains. With 𝗧𝗵𝗲 remained with 𝗪𝗃 and 1B at the hospital. Some of them had injuries, but not severe ones. **Growl**Izuми, what is it? **Growl**Q. Maybe he knows something. Izumi, wait a minute. Oni-chan said that him, Ddraig and **Regulus have a connection. Do you know where Oni-chan is? Regulus moved his head in confirmation. Izumi, let's tell Nizu about it. Signal Izumi to get on him. She hop on his back and goes towards UA to tell Nizu about it. On the way, she encounter her former class. Izumi knew that they'll try something, so she set her phone to record without them noticing. Izumi, what are you doing on that thing? Izumi, first of all, his name is Regulus. And second of all, I'm going to tell Principal Nizu how to find Oni-chan. Mina, what happened with you? Izumi, why are you helping to find Deku? He's worthless. Izumi, don't badmouth Oni-chan, but... And why are you like this? Back in the day, you say that we wanted to scare Oni-chan with our quirks so he can give up on his hero dream. Shoto **smirk**, that's what you think. But in reality, we wanted a punching bag. Shoka, we knew you'll never agree with that. That's why Katsuki came with this idea and to look like we wanted to protect Deku. Izumi, you piece of SHT. I hurt my brother because of you. Kyoka, and what are you going to do? Ochako, we're 19 and you're alone. Toru, no one will believe you. Izumi *smile*. Actually, Izumi pulled her phone and showed them that she recorded the entire conversation. Paled when they saw that. Izumi, I'll make sure you'll pay for what you did. Momo, don't be a fool, Izumi. If you expose us, you'll fall with us. Mina, no matter how you look at it, you also hurt Deku. Izumi, I'll face my punishment and take responsibility for my actions. If I had to give up my hero dream, then so be it. Regulus run towards 1A and jumped above them. A wanted to go after Izumi, but Regulus was running to fast time skip. Thanks to Kurumi, All Might is fighting AFO while Izuku is fighting with Katsuki and Katsumi. The news helicopter was destroyed because AFO pierced it. Luckily, Empty Lady managed to catch it and evacuate the reporters. Tamura and the rest of the league escaped. But they didn't took Katsuki and Katsumi because Tamura said they failed to kill Izuku. Now Katsuki and Katsumi unleashed explosions after explosions. All Might couldn't see or hear Katsuki and Katsumi attacking because he was more focusing on his battle. AFO Katsuki/Katsumi, howitzer impact. They unleashed a giant explosion. All Might and AFO stopped fighting and looked at the explosion. AFO, looks like they're not as failures as I thought. What? AFO, did you really thought that I kidnapped 2 born villains? They happily joined and now they killed Izuku Midoriya, son of Hisashi. Katsuki/Katsumi, take that Deku. Katsuki, that's what you get for messing with the number 1 hero. Katsumi, we're unstoppable. Everyone should bow to you. Then Izuku, once again, you speak too soon. All 4 widen their eyes, especially Katsuki and Katsumi. Not even with their new quirks from AFO. Izuku walked through the smoke of the explosion in his balance breaker like nothing happened. Izuku, both of you are far from being heroes. Katsumi, how? Izuku, you say that everyone should bow to you and you are powers. But why would they do such a thing? When you only fight for yourselves. You're not the ones. Izuku blitzed and punched Katsuki straight in the face. Izuku, I'll fight. Not only for myself. Then Izuku beach slap Katsumi. Izuku, but for all of the innocents and betrayed ones. And I'll do anything to protect them. Izuku knocked them out. Then Izuku looked at AFO who overpowered All Might and knocked him out. Now, only us remained, Red Dragon Emperor. Yes, I know you're not possessing a quirk, Izuku Midoriya, but having a powerful entity in you. Izuku shocked cow. AFO boy, I'm over 100 years old. I know many secrets. I also tried to get some magic from Rias Grammar School, but couldn't get it. But if I get the Red Dragon Emperor, I would be unstoppable. Izuku, that won't happen. And why is that? Izuku/Ddraig, because we'll stop you. The ruins of a once great city, now alit by the glow of destruction and the remnants of shattered buildings. The air is thick with dust and tension, the remnants of a fierce battle lingering in the atmosphere. Izuku stood amidst the chaos. His heart not just from adrenaline, from an overwhelming surge of power coursing through his veins. He felt the divine might of Ddraig, the Red Dragon Emperor, awaken within. Brilliant crimson armor enveloped him. its scales glistening with an otherworldly glow. The air crackled with energy as wings unfurled behind him, casting a shadow over the desolate ground. Ddraig's voice resonated in his mind, a powerful amalgamation of wisdom and ferocity. Ddraig, now, Izuku. Show them the might of a dragon. Across from him stood 𝗷𝗵𝗃, the embodiment of chaos and destruction, his figure dark and imposing against the crumbling backdrop of the city. A malicious grin spread across his face, confident that he had faced every hero and emerged victorious. But today, he was up against a force he could not comprehend. 𝗧𝗲, do you really think you can challenge me, boy? 𝗷𝗵𝗃 taunted, his voice dripping with contempt. 𝗧𝗲, you're just a child playing with something far more powerful than you think. With a roar that echoed through the ruins, Izuku shot forward, propelled by wings forged from pure dragon fire. The air around him shimmered as Ddraig's power radiated outward, causing the very ground beneath 𝗷𝗵𝗃 to tremble. In an instant, Izuku closed the distance, launching a devastating punch encased in draconic energy. The impact sent shockwaves through the area, a display of raw strength that caught 𝗷𝗵𝗃 off guard. He stumbled back, surprise flickering in his eyes for just a moment before he regained composure. 𝗧𝗲, impressive, defeat me. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 retorted, gathering dark energy into his hands. But Izuku was relentless. He soared upward, his wings igniting the twilight sky with a radiant light ready to unleash his power. He roared, Izuku Ddraig, let's show him our bond. Ddraig boosted gear, Dragon Blaster. The armor surged with energy, and Izuku fired a massive energy beam straight at 𝗷𝗵𝗃, who barely had time to react. The beam collided with him, exploding in a fiery display, one that illuminated the entire battlefield. Using the momentary distraction, he felt invigorated, powered by the sheer determination and bravery that had always fueled him. This wasn't just about him anymore. It was about all the people he wanted to protect. Izuku said, gritting his teeth as he prepared for another attack. Izuku, let's end this. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 staggered to his feet, anger flashing in his eyes. Oh, you've made a mistake underestimating me, child. He unleashed a torrent of dark energy, the malevolent aura clashing against Izuku's draconic flames. Izuku, that's where you're wrong. Izuku shouted, raising his arms in defiance. Izuku, I'm not underestimating you. I'm just showing you the truth. With one final push, Izuku tapped deeper into the power of Ddraig. Feeling the connection strengthen, he became a whirlwind of draconic fury, his fists striking like lightning, each blow fueled by the Red Dragon's legacy. 𝗷𝗵𝗃 fought strong, firing blasts of stolen quirks and dark energy, but it was no match for the onslaught of Izuku's balance breaker. Every move he made was precise, a calculated blend of strategy and raw power honed from years of training. In a climactic moment, Izuku gathered all his strength for one ultimate attack. Boost, 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 boost. Izuku Dragon Lord's Tempest. He shouted, channeling every ounce of Ddraig's might into a swirling vortex of energy that engulfed a cataclysmic explosion, the shockwave shattering a look of shock merging with disbelief on his face. A deep breath filled Izuku's lungs as he landed gracefully, the crimson armor fading to reveal his true form once again. There were tears in his eyes, not of sadness, but of joy and relief. He had done it against all odds. He had prevailed. Izuku, I will protect everyone, no matter what. He vowed, knowing full well that this victory was just the beginning of a much. Izuku was barely standing. He used so much energy fighting 𝗧𝗲. Then Katsuki and Katsumi started to wake up and charged at Izuku. Katsuki/Katsumi, I'll kill you, Deku. Izuku thought, I have no more energy left. I had a fun ride. Ddraig thought, partner, you can't quit now. Izuku thought, Ddraig, I have no more energy left. Just as Katsuki and Katsumi were about to unleash their explosions at Izuku, a man with demon wings came and held both Katsuki and Katsumi by the neck. Don't you dare to touch my son. He threw them away, knocking them back. Izuku weakly who are you? The man hoodie fall off from the wind, revealing green curly hair and emerald eyes. The man also had freckles like Izuku. Hisashi, I'll explain later, son, was the last thing Izuku heard before losing consciousness. He fall, but Hisashi caught Hisashi. Son, I'll explain to you everything. Later Izuku woke up in a hospital bed. Izuku thought, what happened? Ddraig thought, you're in the hospital, partner. You lose conscious after you defeated 𝗧𝗲. That 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗟𝗘 managed to escape death once again. Izuku, what about the 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗁? They're locked in a prison for now. Soon, they'll be judged and looking at them, I guess it will be easy that they'll get the death sentence. Izuku POV days passed since I defeated 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗟𝗘, but the news said that All Might defeated and I won't be in trouble. Toshinori retired because his body can't fight anymore. As for Katsuki and Katsumi, they got the death penalty. Life in prison was too good for them. To the outside world it would seem they died in prison, but only a select few knows what really happened. No one. POV Izuku goes to the execution of the Bakugo twins. Mitsuki and Masaru aren't feel any negative emotions because they disowned them. Luckily, Mitsuki got PR'd and they vowed they'll raise the baby better. Now Katsuki and Katsumi are tied with ropes and Quirk canceling cuffs. Judge, will someone want for the villains to be covered their eyes? Judge, alright then. Prepare the weapons. The police officers prepared their weapons. Judge, aim. Izuku, wait. You can't do this. The orders you were given are wrong. Officer, sir, what do you mean? Katsumi, thank you Izuku. I'm sorry. Izuku, who said I was going to save you? Give documents to the judge. This documents attested that I'm the one who should pull the trigger. I'm one of their victims. Judge, very well. Anyone want to comment? Silence. Judge, very well. Midoriya, you may kill them. Izuku *, look at Katsuki *, Katsuki. It's time for you to die. Katsuki *, smirk *, you don't have the ball. Deku. You're too weak. Izuku then was given a Glock. Izuku, shoot him in the knee. Izuku, says the one who couldn't bang any girls from his class once while you were in 1A. I can tell you're loud about everything. Do you would said it if you did. Bang 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 * continues to 200 shells fired. * Izuku by Katsuki. Say hi to Satan for me. Katsuki eyes closed for the last time. Izuku, Katsumi. Woman, you are in hot water. I've been thinking about letting you live. But what the heck was wrong with me about that? Izuku, shoot her in the shoulder. Katsumi, I'll kill you. Deku. She spat. Izuku, still calling me that to the end, huh? Well then. Bang one to the throat. Izuku, in 7 minutes you choke on your own BLD. Izuku, say casually. Izuku, goodbye Katsumi Bakugo. It hasn't been a pleasure. She then fell to the ground gasping for air. Izuku, gentlemen, what you have seen here stays here. The news will say they died in prison due to a riot. Good day. And Izuku leave together with the only ones present. Mandalay, Pixie Bob, Ragdoll, Nizu, Itsuka. She was present to attested as victim. Time skip, thanks to Kurumi. The sun is setting, casting an orange hue over UH High School's campus. At the rooftop of UH High School, the soft breeze tousled the hair of Izuku Midoriya as he stood on the rooftop, gazing out at the horizon. His heart raced, not just from training but from the whirlwind of thoughts swirling in his mind. It had been a few days since the incident. The 0% chance of recovery turned into a miracle thanks to Ddraig. Izuku's DNA had been altered. He was no longer related to Izumi. The revelation had come as a shock, but fate had a way of intertwining paths, and now, the boundaries that once held them apart were shattered. Izumi arrived quietly, tapping her foot on the ground nervously. The sunset illuminated her features shimmer like the stars they both loved to gaze at. Izumi, Oni-chan. She called softly, her voice slightly shaky with uncertainty. Izuku turned, a smile breaking through the worries etched on his face. Izumi. I'm glad you came. They hadn't seen much of each other lately, the weight of their shared past hanging heavily between them, but things were different now, weren't they? Izumi, can we talk? She asked, stepping closer, her eyes searching his for understanding. Izuku, of course. Izuku replied, motioning for her to sit beside him on the edge of the rooftop. The city below bustled with life, heroes and civilians mingled, oblivious to the changes unfolding above them as they sat side by side. The silence enveloped them, comfortable yet laden with unspoken feelings. Finally, Izumi broke the quiet. Izumi, do you think it was meant to happen? The fact with Ddraig altering your DNA, I mean. He hesitated, his fingers intertwining nervously. Izuku, I don't know. It feels strange away. Like I can finally breathe. Izumi nodded, the hint of a smile gracing her lips. Izumi, I feel the same. It's like the chains have been broken, we can be ourselves without the fear of what ifs. Izuku's heart. This was the moment he had been waiting for, the chance to express what had always been simmering beneath the surface. Izumi, I've always cared about you. Ever since we were kids, you were my inspiration, my motivation. And now. Her eyes widened, anticipation flickering across her features. Izumi, yes. Izuku, I want to be with you. He admitted, voice trembling yet resolute. Izuku, not just as friends. I want more than that. Izumi's cheeks flushed a deep red as the realization dawned upon her. Izumi, Onin, are you sure? Things have changed so much. What if? He cut her off gently. Izuku, no more what ifs. We're not bound by our past anymore. We can create our own future, together. Tears threatened to spill from her eyes, but they were tears of joy. She leaned in closer, the shared warmth enveloping them. Izumi, I've wanted that too, Oni-chan. More than anything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of purple and pink, Izuku took her hand. Intertwining their fingers, they were free now, free to forge a path that was uniquely theirs. Unfettered by the lineage that had once kept them apart. In that moment, standing on the rooftop of Yuye, surrounded by the echoes of heroes and dreams, they began the first chapter of a love story written by their own hands, unbound by fate but bound by choice. They looked at each other and shared a embrace. Ddraig, thought. *move Izumi name *. Izumi has joined in the *. I'm waiting for what will happen, partner. Later the sound of skin smacking and slapping on top of each other echoed in Izuku house. We're going at it like animals in heat. Izuku and Izumi had confessed their feelings for each other days ago, making Izumi to join in the *. Izuku couldn't keep his hands off Izumi after their confession. With his well-endowed size, stamina, and the ability to utilize Ddraig during SEC, the seemingly shy and innocent Izuku Midoriya became a rabid AC machine. Izumi, Oni-chan. We have to get ready for school. Will be late. Izuku only responses was hearing her melons and her neck gently while his hips deep inside Izumi love tunnel causing her to see stars. Izumi, thought. Oh my god, I never knew Oni-chan would be such a beast. I'm not sure if I can take him like this alone. My legs are feeling like jelly. Scene change now. Izuku is in Nizu office with the person known as Hisashi Midoriya. Izuku, now, can someone explain to me what's going on? Hisashi, you see, son. I technically never died. But I couldn't be with you in your life. Izuku, why? Nizu, because, nephew, Hisashi here, was attacked by a demon and now Hisashi make his demon wings appear, like Rias and the rest of them wings. Hisashi, I died and got reincarnated as a demon. And being a demon would have been dangerous for you and I didn't want to put you in more danger, son. If I didn't die that day, I would have been in your life and save you from them. Izuku, I wish that would happen too, Dad. But on the bright side, good happen as well. Ddraig came to me and he's my best friend. Ddraig manifest as the size of a parrot on Izuku's shoulder. Ddraig, thanks partner. Izuku, I became a popular musician, I have 8 girlfriends. But I want you, Dad, to be part of my family. Hisashi looked at Nizu. You can, Hisashi. But we must make sure you're not seeing. Your death was already on the news long time ago. Hisashi, I understand. Nizu, now, nephew. For the rest of 1A, I created the sidekick course because I don't trust them. Once I expelled them, they'll become like the other 2 who died in the prison riot. Now go, Midnight is now having again training both 1A and 1B girls. I still don't know why I agree with that training. But it's a good thing it doesn't involve the boys. Izuku, good thing. Scene change. It was time for another Midnight training. Midnight came with the idea so she can enjoy the both girls' classes fighting each other. Achiko's uniform had the same color scheme as her hero uniform, but there was a lot less fabric involved. Midnight had designed all of the uniforms, so it was kind of a given that they would end up being a lot more revealing. She claimed it was good for movement and agility, that sort of thing. It certainly contributed to the boys' distraction. Achiko walked onto the mat in light pink sports bra and green/blue short shorts. She had pink wristbands that were reminiscent of her hero costume too. Achiko's curvy, full body was really on full display here. It was too bad Midnight was the only audience. The 1A boys certainly would have liked to see this, especially when Achiko's opponent Yui stepped onto the mat. Yui had a similar uniform, only it was red and white just like her hero clothes. Yui even had a similar body to Achiko, sizable melons included. Although Achiko thought that maybe Yui had a bit more muscle, Yui's body looked slightly harder than Achiko's soft curves. Midnight explained the rules of the match for the first time just like during practice. There would be no quirks allowed, striking would be allowed, any sort of 𝗬𝗵𝗲 hold or chokehold would of course be allowed as long as it didn't involve a quirk. The match would only end when someone said that they surrendered, not even a knockout would end the match, only total 𝗬𝗵𝗲 would be accepted. You could tap out, tapping out had to be respected. But even if you tapped, the match would keep going until you said you surrendered and couldn't take any more. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 thought that this was certainly a rule set that had been created by Midnight. It was going to be an intense match, but she was confident that she could take Yui down. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 really wasn't the bragging type, but she'd been doing very well against most of her class and she knew that she was a good grappler still. There was something about the smug expression that Midnight had on her. Midnight officially started the match. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 couldn't get a read on Yui, she never could. Yui was just sort of giving her a blank stare. Yui suddenly grabbed hold of 𝗳𝗃𝗃 and took her down to the mat. Smooth Skin pressed up against Smooth Skin as the two girls struggled for position. This was fine with 𝗳𝗃𝗃, she wasn't a striker anyway, she wanted to grapple, she wanted to pin Yui down with her body and get that surrender, but that didn't work out. In just a couple seconds, Yui took total control of 𝗳𝗃𝗃's curvy body and put her into a rear naked choke. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 had a very surprised look on her face. She was shocked. Yui was fast, and she was skilled. Yui knew what she was doing. Midnight, you look so surprised. Laughed. You didn't think Yui was going to be a total pushover like you thought, did you? Otherwise, I mean, why would I have matched you two up? 𝗳𝗃𝗃 felt Yui's arms press harder and harder into her neck. Yui's surprisingly strong bicep was flattening her windpipe. This quiet girl really was not F around. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 could tell that Yui had just as much if not more experience than she did. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 had spent so much time winning and dominating, thinking it will be like when she bullied Izuku back in the day, lately, that she really wasn't used to being the one getting choked. She was still so surprised. She was kind of panicking. How did you get out of these again? She couldn't remember. Maybe you just didn't get out. Izuku never did back in the day. Anyway, but he's a boy. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 was better, or at least she was supposed to be. She tried to push against the mat with her feet and buck her hips, move away, roll, anything. But Yui was pressing her bare feet right into 𝗳𝗃𝗃's inner thighs. She was forcing 𝗳𝗃𝗃's legs apart a bit and making sure that there wasn't much struggling she could even do. She had 𝗳𝗃𝗃 wrapped up so tight that 𝗳𝗃𝗃 felt totally lost on the mat. 𝗳𝗃𝗃, who wasn't used to losing, didn't know her limits very well. She didn't know how urgent it was that she tap out. She was just panicking internally and grabbing and pulling at Yui's arm. Yui knocked her out cold. The hold had really only lasted a few seconds. The match had been going on for less than a minute. Yui had quickly and efficiently taken down the curvy 1A girl and put her to sleep. Yui's expression hadn't changed the entire time, but on inside, she was smiling because she's putting one of her boyfriend bully in her place. It was really just like any other day of practice on the mats for her. No big deal. Yui let her opponent go and pushed her off of her body. She knew that 𝗳𝗃𝗃 was asleep on top of her because she could feel her body going limp. Midnight, well done, Yui. Are you sure you didn't steal my quirk for that? Because we literally just started and 𝗳𝗃𝗃 is already sleeping like a baby. Yui just nodded. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 woke up. Midnight was standing over her, smiling down smugly. What was happening? Where was she? For a moment she actually thought that Midnight had put her to sleep with her quirk, but then she remembered Midnight reminded her that a knockout didn't end the match. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 kind of felt like the match might as well already be over, but it wasn't. Midnight asked her if she was going to surrender. 𝗳𝗃𝗃's surrender? No way, said 𝗳𝗃𝗃, getting back up and trying to shake it off. 𝗳𝗃𝗃, I'm definitely not surrendering already. We just started. It's going to take a lot more than one knockout. That was pretty good, Yui, but I'm not going down that easily. Yui thought to herself that 𝗳𝗃𝗃 had actually gone down very easily, but she kept this thought to herself since she really wasn't the trash-talking type. She was just the winning type. You, alright then. But I'm going to make you beg for surrender and make you pay for what you did to Izuku. Oh, please. Deku was never good for anything. Yui, and why he's in the hero course and your class is in the sidekick course. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 bite her tongue in anger. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 tried to start things off differently this round. She swung at Yui, trying to take her off guard. Maybe she wouldn't expect a punch since 𝗳𝗃𝗃 had gone straight for the mat last time. It didn't work. Yui dodged the punch, displaying excellent agility still with no expression on her face. Yui ducked down and swept 𝗳𝗃𝗃 legs out from underneath her. 𝗳𝗃𝗃 topped down to the mat. Midnight had pretty much known that Yui was going to dominate, but even she had thought that maybe 𝗳𝗃𝗃 would get some offense, and this was surprising even to her. Yui quickly took control of 𝗳𝗃𝗃's body once again since a chokehold hadn't been enough to get 𝗳𝗃𝗃 to surrender last round. She decided that she'd go for a 𝗬𝗵𝗃 instead. She could have done whatever she wanted. She was in full control. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 was still surprised at having been taken down so fast. Yui was behind 𝗪𝗃𝗁. She grabbed 𝗪𝗃𝗁's arms and planted her feet against the backs of 𝗪𝗃𝗁's thighs. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 wasn't sure what was happening, but she was worried. Her arms were stretched behind her back now rather painfully. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 hadn't prepared her for whatever this was. Yui, displaying a surprising amount of strength, pulled 𝗪𝗃𝗁's body up into the air. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 had completely left the mat. Her arms and legs were being pulled behind her. She was facing the ceiling. It was like Yui had turned her into a table. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 cried out in pain. Midnight took a couple steps forward, arms crossed, so that she could get a more up-close and personal look at this hold. Midnight, a surfboard hold. I wouldn't have expected this from you, Yui. Let's see if it gets you the win. Yui didn't respond. She was too busy torturing 𝗪𝗃𝗁. Yui, it doesn't feel good, right? That's how Izuku felt back in the day. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 had never been in such a brutal 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗁 hold. She was being stretched to the limit. There was also just something humiliating about being stuck in a hold that you couldn't even resist or fight back in. She wasn't even touching the mat. She was being suspended in the air, and her legs and arms were being painfully yanked back so strong she was sure that Yui was going to pop them right out of their sockets like Midnight. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 really had not expected such a hold from the quiet and reserved Yui. Midnight looked over 𝗪𝗃𝗁's curvy, stretched out body. Her back was being arched more and more. Midnight, you're really a fighter, 𝗪𝗃𝗁. I have to give you that, even if you're kind of losing at the moment. 𝗪𝗃𝗁, is this allowed? Asked 𝗪𝗃𝗁 in a weak sort of voice, even though she already knew the answer. Midnight, yes, I'm afraid it is. There are no rules being broken here. Your arms and legs are maybe being broken, but that is allowed. 𝗪𝗃𝗁, cried 𝗪𝗃𝗁 again, confirming what Midnight had just said. Yui continued to mercilessly apply the painful hold. There was nothing 𝗪𝗃𝗁 could do. She'd never felt more helpless on the mat. This really wasn't like bullying Izuku. She tapped on Yui's arm, wondering if maybe she would end up surrendering the match after this too. Yui lowered 𝗪𝗃𝗁 back down to the mat, then stood up. It looked like Yui had hardly broken a sweat as she looked down at her now slightly broken 1A opponent. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 rolled onto her back, and sweating. The match had barely started and she felt like Yui had already kicked her, but pretty thoroughly. But 𝗪𝗃𝗁 really was not the type to give up easily. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 got back up. Midnight, oh, you want to keep going? 𝗪𝗃𝗁, I'm not done yet. Midnight, you look like maybe you're a little bit done, 𝗪𝗃𝗁. Midnight, who was being realistic rather than being encouraging. Yui didn't care either way. This was basically just practice to her. She could dominate 𝗪𝗃𝗁 all day if that's what 𝗪𝗃𝗁 wanted to do and make her pay for her boyfriend. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 swung at Yui again. It was kind of a desperate and wild punch. Yui dodged again. If this was the game that 𝗪𝗃𝗁 wanted to play, then Yui had no problem indulging her. Yui took a step forward and kneed 𝗪𝗃𝗁 right in her tummy. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 immediately doubled over with a totally shocked look on her face. Yui had moved so fast that 𝗪𝗃𝗁 had no time to react or roll with it at all. She'd taken the knee full on. All of the air had been knocked right out of her. Even Midnight winced a little. Although she was still smiling, 𝗪𝗃𝗁 really had not expected this. It felt like Yui's knee had gone right through her and maybe rearranged her internal organs too. Since when was Yui so good? What was going on in Class 1B? 𝗪𝗃𝗁, still with the wind knocked out of her, fell down onto her knees in front of Yui. Not a good position, but she couldn't help it. She was just reacting now. She wasn't even really thinking. Yui pushed 𝗪𝗃𝗁 back with her bare foot. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 went down onto her hands and knees. Before 𝗪𝗃𝗁 could recover from the brutal knee to the belly she had taken, Yui stepped forward and put 𝗪𝗃𝗁 into a standing head scissor. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 watched with wide, surprised eyes as Yui's ankles crossed below her. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 was staring down at Yui's calves and the mat. She couldn't believe that Yui had taken her down and dominated her this easily again. Her resolve was crushed all over again. Midnight, very well done. You've clearly been paying attention in class. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 grabbed the pair of thighs that were crushing her neck with both hands. They felt smooth and muscular. They were getting harder and harder the more Yui flexed and punished. 𝗪𝗃𝗁, said 𝗪𝗃𝗁, not even sure why she was saying anything at all. Yui didn't respond. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 felt humiliated getting choked out while she was down on her hands and knees like this. She pulled at Yui's legs. That was totally pointless. Yui's legs were way too strong to be separated by 𝗪𝗃𝗁's hands. Not happening. 𝗪𝗃𝗁 told herself that she just wasn't going to tap to a standing head scissor. Maybe she'd lose the match to this opponent that Midnight had picked out for her, but she wasn't going to tap out. While she was on her knees and Yui was just standing up straight, flexing her thighs, that would just be too much, even if it was too late now to save whatever ego she had left. Ochako grabbed onto Yui's bare thighs and rolled herself over both girls top down onto the mat. Ochako knew that a standing scissor wasn't exactly the most stable hold. Was Yui really underestimating her? Did she not think Ochako was going to fight back? The two of them tumbled down and Ochako managed to get her head free. Midnight walked around so that she could keep a good view on the grappling. Pair Midnights, here's your chance, Ochako, now let's see if you can do anything with it. She couldn't. Yui took control again now that both of them were on the mat. It felt like Yui was always one move ahead of her. Yui hadn't been taken off guard at all by the fall. She was ready to put Ochako right into the next hold, which turned out to be a leg lock. Ochako cried out in pain as Yui began to hyper-extend her knee in the brutal trap. Midnight, very good, Yui. I couldn't have done it better myself. Although, really, Midnight was pretty confident that she could beat both of these girls at the same time with her powerful thighs. Yui continued to mercilessly apply the leg lock with her usual blank face. She really didn't care about Ochako. She didn't care when she started to see a couple tears run down Ochako's face. If Ochako hated the hold so much, then she should just tap. It really wasn't Yui's problem, it was all up to Ochako. Yui was not going to let up until she heard tapping or surrendering from her 1A opponent. It was the fourth hold that Yui had gotten on her, and it felt like Ochako had just stepped onto the mat. At least the rest of her 1A classmates weren't in the gym right now to see her getting owned like this. Only Midnight was there to see her biggest loss ever. Ochako had to tap out again. She could feel that Yui was going to snap her leg, otherwise she really had not expected Yui to be such a skilled and relentless fighter. Ochako didn't surrender, she was just too stubborn for her own good. Yui was surprised. Although you wouldn't have been able to tell from looking at her, Yui was beginning to think that Ochako was either not aware of the danger she was in, or was some kind of Either way, Yui was determined to make this next round the final one. She would show Ochako that she was totally out of her league and that if she continued to mess with her then she was going to get hurt. Yui tackled her and took her straight down to the mat. Ochako was once again no match, and Yui manipulated Ochako's curvy body into just the position she wanted. There seemed to be nothing Ochako could do to stop her from having her way with her. Ochako was flat on her back before she could get away or do anything. Yui took control of her arm and secured it between her thighs. Ochako's elbow was right against her crotch. Ochako could feel the smooth fabric of Yui's shorts. Yui planted one of her feet on Ochako's throat and the other one on Ochako just below her bub. Yui pressed down strong with both of her feet, which caused Ochako to make an awkward little gurgling sound as her throat was squashed slightly, but of course that wasn't the point of this hold. Yui lifted her hips slightly off the mat, putting pressure on Ochako's arm in the brutal armbar. Midnight, you just cannot catch a break this match, Ochako. I'm beginning to wonder if you've really been paying attention to my lessons or not. Yui's hips had only been raised up slightly her but hadn't even left the mat, but the pain was still very real for Ochako. Yui, you should tap, said Yui. She said it in a very matter-of-fact way, and she was right. Ochako should have tapped, but Ochako was too stubborn. Being told to tap by her opponent of course made her all the more reluctant to tap, but Yui was just stating a fact. Ochako no, said Ochako. Yui responded by simply raising her hips up another inch. That was all it took to get another cry of pain out of Ochako's lips. Now it really felt like Yui was going to snap her arm in half like a twig. Ochako's hand was resting between Yui's bub. She was squeezing them because she was in pain and because they were there, not really out of a longing to squeeze bub or fight dirty. Yui had no real reaction to this other than blushing slightly, which Ochako couldn't see anyway in her current painful position. Yui didn't have to lift her hips up further. She'd made her point very clearly. Ochako tapped out, slapping the mat repeatedly with her hand. Yui let her go right away. She was confident that Ochako would surrender now. Midnight thought so too, but Ochako got back up and shakily got into a stance. She was really going to continue. Yui did actually respect this, even if she had no respect for Ochako's grappling skills or for her bullying. Midnight just shook her head in bemusement. What did Ochako think was going to happen here? Maybe she just wanted to prove that she had stamina. If 𝗬𝗵𝗃 holds apparently weren't going to convince Ochako that she needed to surrender, then Yui would just have to go back to choking her with her thighs. Ochako hadn't really been able to resist at the beginning when she'd first set foot on the mat, but now that she was broken down and tired, Yui was really just able to do whatever she wanted. Ochako had been turned into her personal practice dummy. Ochako felt like the Izuku now back in the Yui wrapped her smooth legs around Ochako neck. The back of Ochako head was resting against her crotch. Ochako watched helplessly as Yui straightened her legs out and crossed her ankles in front of her. She grabbed 2 handfuls of Yui's thighs, but there was nothing she could do to stop what was coming. Yui began to squeeze Ochako's little neck. The pressure was intense right away, and Yui wasn't even squeezing her at full power, yet Yui didn't flex completely. She didn't want to knock Ochako out. Although she very easily could have. Ochako was only awake because Yui was letting her be awake instead of just knocking her butt out. Yui was flexing strong, and then easing up. She would pulse her powerful thigh muscles, then relax them, pulse, and relax, taking Ochako to the brink of consciousness and back again, wearing her down, making Ochako realize that she was nothing more than Yui's squeeze toy at this point, and that there was no possible way she could win. Her only choice was to either surrender or stay down here between this pair of thighs and get chewed up for the rest of the day, because Yui really could do this all day. It was easy, way too easy. It certainly wasn't easy for Ochako. She kept thinking she was going to pass out. She was in a sort of twilight. She wasn't even sure she was conscious anymore, and the pressure on her jaw and neck was painful, too painful. Ochako knew it was over for her. Instead of tapping, she waited until a moment when Yui wasn't flexing as strong so that she could say, "Ochako, I surrender." Yui spread her thighs, scooted back, and just let Ochako's head drop right down onto the mat. Yui stood up while Ochako lay there, recovering. "Midnight, well done, Yui. You know, I had a feeling you might win." Ochako looked up at Midnight's smile. That smile told her that Midnight definitely knew exactly what kind of match she had set up here. Yui just nodded and then left. Her business here was done. Ochako would have liked to leave too, but she was having trouble just getting up. Midnight had to help her up onto her feet. "Midnight, nice try, Ochako. You're very determined. I'll say that at least." 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗃 said. Ochako started to head back out the way she came in. Midnight put her hands on her shoulders and turned her around. Midnight pointed at a different door. "Midnight, oh, you can go out that way. You don't need to see your classmates just yet. You can wait on that. I'd hate to ruin the surprise." Ochako wondered if any of her classmates would do better than she had. As she walked off the mat and out of the gym with Yui, she and Izuku were having an embrace session with Yui, inserting her tongue in his mouth. Yui *blushing*, "I hope to get a reward on our day for putting one of you our bullies in her place." Izuku *smile*, "You can count on that." Izuku POV Vlad Sensei told us about the dorm system that was installed. I gather my things and got ready to leave my house, but on weekends I spent it at home or when I want no one. POV Izuku and his class got installed in the dorms. Unfortunately, 1A dorms was next to them, but they're forbidden for 1A to interact with 1B because 1A is now sidekick course and 1B is on hero course. Only by authorization from 𝗃𝗃 they can interact. Izuku is now having problems with his girlfriends. Each of them got a day to spend with Izuku. The order was Itsuka Monday, Kinoko Tuesday, Setsuno Wednesday, Pony Thursday, Reiko Friday, Ibra Saturday, Sunday, Izumi Monday. Again Monday. Itsuka decided for a training at a dojo, a serene dojo. At dawn the early morning sun trickled through the windows of a peaceful dojo, casting soft rays of light that illuminated the polished wooden floors. The atmosphere was filled with the sound of distant birds chirping and the gentle rustle of leaves outside. It was the perfect setting for a focused martial arts training session. Izuku, known for his efforts and determination, stood at one end of the dojo, his green hair slightly tousled from the morning air. He was clad in a simple martial arts uniform, the fabric snug against his athletic build. His brow was furrowed in concentration as he went over the techniques he had been practicing. He felt a surge of eagerness. Training with a skilled partner like Itsuka would undoubtedly push him beyond his limits. Across the room, Itsukihiro, her presence commanding yet calm, adjusted her own uniform with her long hair tied back in a neat ponytail. She looked every bit the formidable opponent known for her strength and fighting prowess. She exuded confidence as she prepared for their sparring session. "Izukihiro, ready whenever you are, Itsuka." Izuku called out, a grin breaking across his face as he raised his fists in a determined stance. Itsuka met his energy with a smile, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Itsuka, let's see if you can keep up with me today, Izuku. Remember, focus on your footwork." With a slight nod, Izuku took a deep breath. Centering himself, he recalled all the lessons he had learned about precision, balance, and timing. As she moved toward him, they both entered a fighting stance, the silence of the dojo resonating with potential energy. The training began with a series of measured strikes. Izuku threw a few quick punches, Testing the waters, 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗟 expertly sidestepped each blow and retaliated with her own swift counters. The sounds of their movements echoed off the walls, punctuated by the occasional grunt or shout. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏 impressed, but you'll have to do better than that, 𝗧𝗂𝗧 encouraged, a competitive spark igniting her tone. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, try using your legs more. Taking her advice to heart, Izuku shifted his strategy. He unleashed a flurry of kicks, each one executed with precision and power. He could feel the adrenaline coursing through him, pushing him forward. Yet, 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏 matched him move for move, her fluidity and speed making it challenging for him to gain an advantage. Their friendly rivalry invigorated the atmosphere. Each successful block and counterattack brought laughter and shouts of encouragement. Izuku admired 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏's skill. She was not just strong but also incredibly strategic, anticipating his moves before he even fully committed to them. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, alright, I wanna go easy on you anymore, 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏 declared, determination shining in her eyes. With that, she unleashed a series of rapid-fire strikes, each more powerful than the last. Izuku barely managed to keep up, dodging and parrying as beads of sweat began to form on his forehead. He could feel his muscles burning, but he pushed through, drawing on his resolve. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, I wanna give up, he shouted, rallying his spirit. In a moment of clarity, he remembered a technique he had practiced countless times. With renewed focus, he feinted left, then quickly pivoted right, launching himself into a spinning kick aimed at 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏's midsection. The move caught her off guard, and she stumbled back slightly, a look of surprise crossing her face. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, yes. That is it, Midoriya, she exclaimed, laughter lighting up her voice as she steadied herself. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, really improving. As they continued to spar, the challenges only fueled their enthusiasm. Each blow exchanged deepened their respect for one another, creating a bond forged in strong work and shared aspirations. Eventually, they came to a halt, both breathless and smiling. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, let's take a break, 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏 suggested, wiping sweat from her brow. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, but we definitely need to do this again soon. Izuku nodded enthusiastically, his heart racing with exhilaration. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, absolutely. I can't wait to train together again. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏. As they collapsed onto the dojo floor, catching their breath, the sun rose higher in the sky, illuminating their shared passion for martial arts and the strength of friendship that grew within the confines of the dojo. Later that night at Izuku house, skin clapping Izuku was 𝗵𝗃 brains out. 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, yes. Izuku smirk *, so how am I doing, sensei? 𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗏, it feels amazing. But don't get arrogant. This is just the first move. We still have many others to review before I can assess your performance. Tuesday, a day among the blooms of vibrant botanical club nestled within the heart of UH School's sprawling campus. The club is filled with various plants, some ordinary, some exotica, arranged neatly in pots of all sizes. Sunlight filters through large windows, casting dappled shadows on the rich, green foliage. Izuku stepped into the botanical club, a little out of breath from his sprint across campus. His simple t-shirt and jeans, making him feel somewhat relaxed amidst the various colors of the plants that surrounded him. Today, he was here to help Kinoko Komori, his class. Kinoko, Izuku, over here. Kinoko's voice chimed from the far corner of the room, her curly hair bouncing as she waved enthusiastically. She was kneeling next to a particularly large pot of vibrant mushrooms, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Izuku, sorry I am late. I lost track of time studying, he replied, catching his breath. He approached her, noting the way slightly with dirt. Kinoko, no worries. I've been waiting to show you my favorite plant sock, which was speckled with soil and bits of plant matter. Today, we're going to transplant these mushrooms into new pots. They need more space to grow. Izuku knelt beside her, inspecting the colorful fungal growths. Izuku, wow, they look appealing. How do you know when a small spade? Her fingers deftly maneuvering it. Kinoko, well, you can tell out of the drainage holes or if they look crowded. It's time for a change. Plus, these ones are going to take off now that the weather is getting cooler. With a nod, Izuku grabbed a second spade and began to follow her lead. As they worked together, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. There was something therapeutic about digging in to break from the high-energy training typical of his daily routine. Kinoko, you know, Izuku, Kinoko said, breaking the comfortable silence. Kinoko, I am really glad you joined the club. It's nice having someone so passionate about helping out. Most of my friends don't understand how amazing plants can be, Izuku. Izuku, not everyone can create such unique things just by working with plants. Your mushrooms are like little works of art. 𝗵𝗃𝗁's face lit up, her cheeks tinged pink. 𝗵𝗃𝗁, really? You think so? Izuku, I too. And 𝗳𝗃𝗁 learned so much from you already. As he spoke, he carefully placed another mushroom into its new pot. Following her instructions, Izuku, I never knew how much thought went into caring for them. They continued working side by side, sharing stories about their quirks and dreams. 𝗵𝗃𝗁 revealed how she hoped to create an entire ecosystem in her backyard in return. Izuku shared his ambitions of becoming a top hero and how sometimes the weight of expectations weighed heavily on him. After a couple of hours, they finally finished repotting the last of the mushrooms. 𝗵𝗃𝗁 stretched, wiping her forehead with the back of her hand. 𝗵𝗃𝗁, that was fun. Thank you for your help, Izuku. Izuku, anytime. It was really enjoyable. He glanced around the room, taking in the newfound sense of life in the freshly potted plants. Izuku, I'd love to come back and help again. Maybe I can learn how to make my own little garden. 𝗵𝗃𝗁, definitely. And I'll teach you about all the different types of fungi. Some can even glow in the dark. 𝗵𝗃𝗁 exclaimed with childlike glee. Izuku laughed, feeling lighter than he had in a while. Izuku, that sounds amazing. I can't wait. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden light through the windows, the two friends shared stories and laughter among the plants in that cozy corner of High School, surrounded by vibrant colors and the earthy scent of rich soil. Izuku felt a deep sense of belonging, a perfect reminder that even heroes needed in life. 𝗵𝗃𝗁 now, let's go to my room. We have another goal for the Botanic Club. Later in 𝗵𝗃𝗁 room, skin clapping. 𝗵𝗃𝗁, he feels like I'm gonna split in two. Izuku, I bet you'd love that, wouldn't you? 𝗵𝗃𝗁. The goal for this meeting is to make come so strong that I can't think of anything but why a huge mushroom. Izuku was holding 𝗵𝗃𝗁 in the air from behind while her making the mushroom girl to see stars. Wednesday cinematic chaos. Izuku living room illuminated by the soft glow of a television screen. The aroma of popcorn fills the air, and a comfortable couch is littered with blankets and snacks. Outside, the world is dark, but inside, the anticipation for the movie night buzzes. Izuku, on the couch, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Next to him sits Setsuna, her vibrant personality shining through her casual yet stylish outfit. The two friends had decided to spend the evening watching a classic Godzilla movie, a treat for both of them as they took a break from their hero training. The opening credits roll, and Izuku's heart races. Izuku, I can't believe we finally doing this, Setsuna. Ivy always wanted to share a Godzilla movie with someone who appreciates the strategic elements of the battles. Setsuna grins, her eyes glued to the screen. Setsuna, you know I love a good monster fight. Plus, not every day you get to see a giant lizard stomping through a city. It's like an epic battle of Quirk, but with actual destruction. As the iconic roar of Godzilla fills the room, they both jump slightly, and Setsuna laughs. Setsuna, okay, that was a little scary. She admits. Izuku chuckles, feeling the tension and thrill of the film. Halfway through the movie, Godzilla faces off against a monstrous new foe, the screen pulsing with energy and chaos. Izuku leans forward, animatedly explaining the creature's weaknesses based on its past encounters. Izuku, see, if Godzilla uses his atomic breath right here, he could exploit that weak spot. Setsuna nods appreciatively. Setsuna, he really studied these battles. You have an amazing analyzing skill. Izuku blushes slightly, rubbing the back of his neck. Izuku, well, I just think there is a lot to learn from strategy, even if it's just a movie. The moment intensifies when Godzilla unleashes a furious blast, sending shockwaves through the city. Depicted on screen, her energy infectious. Setsuna, if only we could use our quirks like that. Imagine if we had to fight a giant monster. Izuku, right? Izuku replies, grinning. Izuku, we'd have to work together, though. I mean, one hero alone wouldn't stand a chance against Godzilla. As the CLMX approaches, both are on the edge of their seats, popcorn momentarily forgotten. Setsuna, this is insane. Setsuna exclaims, clenching her fists. Setsuna, look at the destruction. Do you think? Izuku, maybe one day. But we need to be prepared. Hero in training would have to step up a notch. By the in-awe, the adrenaline still pumping Setsuna turns to Izuku, her eyes wide. Setsuna, that was amazing. We should do this more often. Izuku beams, a spark of determination in his voice. Izuku, definitely. Next time, let us pick a different monster movie. Maybe one with a hero who I'll bring even more snacks. As they start to clean up, the laughter and excitement linger in the air, their bond strengthened by a shared adventure in cinematic chaos. At Izuku bedroom, Setsuna is naked and she rise her but in all her glory. Setsuna *stuck*. I thought that we'll fall asleep at the movie, Izuku. Izuku clothes disappeared from him like magic. Setsuna, I got anxious for waiting those 2 long days. Izuku *grope Setsuna but I'll compensate you and give you our juicy but the attention you deserve. Thursday A language bridge. A quiet afternoon in cozy corner of UH High School AS1B dorm common room. Sunlight streams through the large windows, casting a warm glow on the vibrant space filled with books, posters, and various student projects. Izuku, known for his determination and kindness, is seated at a round table with Pony Tsunatori, who radiates an enthusiastic yet slightly nervous energy. Izuku smiling warmly. All right, Pony. Are you ready to dive into some Japanese today? Pony clutching her notebook tightly. I am excited but also a bit worried. What if I mess up? Izuku encouragingly, you worry about that. Mistakes are part of learning. Just like in training, you'll get better with practice. Pony nodding, her ears perking up. You rewrite. Hey, let us do this. Izuku pulling out a sheet of paper. Let's start with some basic phrases. How about we learn to introduce ourselves? Pony, sounds great. Izuku writing a 3/4 on the paper. This means, nice to meet you, in Japanese. You say, hajimashite. Pony repeating hajimashikuku. Izuku smile perfect. Now, when you introduce yourself, you can say your name afterward. So, I would say, or wa Midoriya Izuku desu. Can you try that with your name? Pony concentrating strong okay, or wa Tsunatori Pony desu. Izuku clapping his hands awesome. UAV got it. Pony smiling brightly really. My pronunciation was good. Izukuya. Just remember the pitch accent. Japanese can be tricky that way, but you doing amazing. Pony eyes sparkling thanks. Izuku. What is next? Izuku flipping the paper let us move on to some useful vocabulary. How about common objects around us? Pony leaning in yes. I want to learn everything. Izuku pointing to a pena a superscript 3-star. Can you repeat that? Pony enthusiast Izuku over here, pointing to a book. This is a book. A in Japanese, Idisi, pronounced Hans. Pony jotting down notes Han got it. Izuku, great. Now let us put them together in a sentence. You could say, this is my pena in Japanese, which is kore wa watashi no pen desu. Pony focusing strong kore wa. Izuku beaming yes. You really picking this up fast. Pony blushing with pride I feel so proud. Izuku noticing her excitement it is all about your strong work and dedication. And just like in hero training, perseverance pays off. Pony nodding vigorously I wanna give up. Izuku smiling softly I know you wanna let us have a little practice conversation. I'll ask you how you are and you respond, Pony poised got it. Izuku clearing his throat ogenki desu ka. How are you? Pony nervous but determined genki. I am good. Izuku excited yes. You nailed it. Pony looking at the clock we've been at it for a while now. Thanks for the help, Izuku. Izuku chuckles great. I am so glad I could help you today. Pony beaming thank you so much, Izuku. You make learning Japanese so enjoyable. Izuku smiling that means a lot to me, Pony. I am really glad to help. At night skin clapping Izuku * grab pony by the hips * if you keep this up with your studies, you'll definitely deserve a 100, or, as you're used to in America, an A+. Pony *M*, thanks, Izu. Izuku, you're welcome. Grunt, now give me those horns. Izuku let go of Pony hips and grabbed her by the horns, then he moved inside her more, making Pony to make a hoarse noise. Friday chills on the couch. The living room was dimly lit, a cozy fortress against the outside world, where the winds howled softly through the trees. The only glow came from the television, casting flickering shadows across the walls as the credits to the latest horror movie played out. Izuku, clad in his comfortable pajamas, sat cross-legged on the plush, a bowl of popcorn resting on his lap next to him. Reiko, his classmate and fellow aspiring hero, was wrapped in her favorite blanket, eyes wide with anticipation. She had insisted on this marathon, claiming it would be great for, despite his own reservations about horror films. As the first movie unfolded, a series of eerie sound effects. Dark figure crept into view on the screen, and Reiko squealed softly, curling deeper into the blanket. Izuku instinctively moved closer, a protective instinct kicking in. Izuku, it's just a movie, he reminded her, but look at that creepy smile, she whispered, peeking out from beneath the fabric. They settled into a rhythm, each jump scare earning a yelp from Reiko and a nervous chuckle from Izuku. As the night deepened, the atmosphere thickened with tension. Half the fun was sharing the thrill. During one particularly tense scene, Reiko reached for his arm, her grip firm and electrifying. Reiko, Izuku, what would you do if you were in that situation? She asked, eyes glued to the screen. Even as the suspense mounted, his mind raced. Izuku, well, he probably analyzed the surroundings, look for an escape route. He hesitated, glancing at her face illuminated by the screen's glow. Reiko, but what if it is a supernatural being? That is a whole different. Her expression earnest. Izuku, then we'd have to strategize together. Maybe one of us could distract it while the other finds a way out. Izuku smiled, heartwarming at her. As the hours slipped away, they progressed through classics and newer releases, each film more chilling than the last. Reiko became more animated, hopping up to mimic the characters' reactions, her laughter mixing with shrieks at the most unexpected moments. Izuku found himself drawn into her excitement, forgetting about the fear that typically haunted him during these films. Between movies, they shared theories about plots and characters, dissecting decisions made by the protagonists. Reiko leaned back, her eyes twinkling with mischief. Reiko, I bet we could write a better story than half of these. Izuku, definitely. There should be more positive outcomes. They like heroes who actually think ahead. Izuku replied, his voice brimming with enthusiasm. Just then, the next movie began, its ominous soundtrack filling the space. Izuku felt the tension in the air amplify as the first horrifying scene played out. Both of them whipped their heads toward the screen. Hearts. Reiko, okay, here is the deal, Reiko said quietly, her gaze still fixed ahead. Reiko, if you get too scared, just hold my hand. Izuku blinked, momentarily caught off guard, but then he felt a surge of warmth. Izuku, you too, he blurted out. As the plot thickened, the room echoed with chilling screams and the eerie whispers of ghosts. Despite the frightful images conjured on screen, there was a sense of safety in their shared camaraderie, an understanding that they were facing the terror together. Reiko, okay, remember, a teamwork, Reiko reminded him just before another jump scare rattled the room. In that moment, Izuku realized that horror movies were a different kind of battle, one where fears could be faced not alone, but side by side with a friend. And as he held her hand tightly, he knew this marathon would be one they'd always remember, not just for the scares. Darkness. Later, Reiko wanted Izuku to play a little role-playing with her as a heroine and him as a villain. In the end, Izuku dominate Reiko and begin to F her how she wanted. Clap, clap, clap. Izuku, that's it, you love my perfect villain. $$and%, don't you, beach? Reiko, if yes, please F me, dragon. I'm just a slutty heroine obsessed with our villain. $$and%. Izuku, you got it, now take my $$and% like a good beach. Reiko, F, I'm coming. Saturday, Izuku and Ibra date was to go to a church, but that's what their classmates thought. Both got a hotel room and got on Hitotsuka. Kinoko, Setsuna and Reiko already have their rounds with Izuku more than one, and Ibra felt that Izuku didn't like her like the rest of his girlfriends, so she decided to prove herself. Later, Ibra was on top of Izuku and she was committed. Since 𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗧𝗏, Please forgive this sinner, but at the moment I am overcome by lust and can no longer control myself. Yes. 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃, come on, Izuku, fill me with your divine seed. I beg you. Izuku, wow. You're really getting faster. I think deep down you really love this, don't you? 𝗵𝗃 Sunday, a night of heroes. The evening sky had transformed into canvas of deep inside a cozy living room. Izuku placed the food on the table and took a moment to appreciate the atmosphere. The soft glow of the TV illuminated the room, casting flickering shadows as it played opening credits of an Ultraman movie. Yui, with her distinctive short black hair and her emotionless face, she was dressed casually in a warm, oversized sweater, the comfort clothing adding to the homey ambience. Izuku felt a flutter of nervous energy. They had hung out before, but tonight felt special. Yui, are you ready for this? Yui asked, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Yui, I heard this movie has some epic battles. Izuku nodded enthusiastically, feeling his heart race. Izuku, I've been looking forward to this one. Ultraman always inspires me to be stronger, you know. He chuckled softly, glancing at Yui. Yui, I think he is a pretty great hero. As the movie began, the exhilarating sounds of battle roared through the speakers. The screen displayed Ultraman soaring through the sky, dazzling beams of light shooting from his fists as he confronted monstrous foes. Izuku couldn't help but mimic some of Ultraman's poses, eliciting a surprised giggle from Yui. Yui, hey, you look just like him. Yui laughed, playfully nudging him with her shoulder. Her laughter was contagious, and Izuku found himself grinning widely as scenes unfolded. Yui occasionally leaned closer, sharing her thoughts about the characters and the implications of their actions in battle. Yui, see how Ultraman protects the city. He is like even when things get tough, he never gives. She said, her voice filled with admiration. Izuku, exactly. Izuku replied, feeling a rush of warmth at their shared enthusiasm. It is all about the determination to protect others even against overwhelming odds. He couldn't shake the thought that he wanted to embody that same spirit, just like Ultraman. With each intense scene, they bonded over their favorite moments, exchanging popcorn and playful commentary. Yui would gasp when a giant monster appeared on screen, and Izuku would find himself instinctively tensing up during the battles. Fully immersed in the action as the 𝗬𝗵𝗃 approached, the tension in the room grew palpable. Yui leaned in closer, her eyes wide with anticipation. Yui, do you think Ultraman will win? She whispered. Izuku, I believe in him. Izuku replied confidently, a serious expression crossing his face. Izuku, just like we believe in our own heroes. They both turned their attention back to the screen, where Ultraman stood valiantly against a towering adversary, a moment of silence filling the air as he prepared for the final strike. Suddenly, the room erupted with cheers from both Izuku and Yui as the hero unleashed a powerful attack, sending the monster tumbling down. The movie ended with a victorious Ultraman standing tall, and as the credits rolled, Yui turned to Izuku, her face alight with joy. Yui, that was amazing. I can't believe how much I got into it. Izuku nodded vigorously, a huge smile plastered on his face. Izuku, right. Ultraman always shows us that even the smallest efforts a moment count. Her gaze lingering on the screen before back to Izuku. You know, kind of like Ultraman yourself. Always fighting for what is right, backing people up. Izuku felt a blush creeping onto his cheeks, his heart racing at her compliment. Thank you, that means a lot coming from you. As they both caught their breath after the excitement of the movie, a comfortable silence enveloped them, filled only by the moment. Surrounded by the remnants of their hero's journey, Izuku realized that nights like these were what made him feel invincible. A friendship, shared dreams, and the courage to fight for what mattered most. Later, Yui wanted to do what she said at the training camp, and now Izuku is on top of Yui and he's deep move inside her. Yui, yes. Come inside me and stake your claim on me. Prove I'm just a 𝗵𝗃𝗵𝗃 slot for you. Izuku, and to think you're known as the emotionless girl, but look at you, already going brain dead. And I'm just getting started with you, huh? And to think you thought you could dominate me. Yuyus. F me. Smack, 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 smack. Yui, don't 𝗧𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍 OP. Tim coming. Yui started to be brain dead after Izuku moved inside her Monday again a day at Comic-Con. The bustling of Comic-Con, filled with multicolored banners, enthusiastic fans in elaborate costumes, and booths showcasing the latest merchandise. The air buzzes with excitement as people chat, laugh, and share their favorite fandoms. Izuku, determined, kind-hearted young hero fan, wearing a casual green hoodie, jeans, and a pair of headphones around his neck. Izumi, Izuku energetic sister, dressed in a vibrant cosplay of her favorite character from a popular anime, complete with props and makeup. Izuku stood outside the towering convention center, his heart racing with excitement and nerves. He adjusted his backpack, feeling the familiar tingle of anticipation. Today was Comic-Con, and he was about to embark on an adventure with his sister, Izumi. Oni-chan. Come on. Izumi called out, bouncing on her toes, her bright pink wig swirling as she turned to face him. Izumi, we can't miss the opening panel. Izuku, I am coming, he replied, smiling. Izuku, just taking it all in. As they entered the convention center, the sights and sounds overwhelmed them. Colorful banners hung from the ceilings, and fans, dressed as superheroes, villains, and anime characters, filled the hallways. Izumi tugged at Izuku's arm, eager to explore. Izumi, look over there, she exclaimed, pointing to a booth that showcased life-sized figures of their favorite heroes. Let's go. They navigated through the crowd, stopping occasionally for photos with cosplayers and picking up free posters. Izuku marveled at the creativity around him, feeling inspired by the costumes and artwork. His eyes sparkled when he spotted a booth featuring limited edition merchandise from his favorite manga series. Izuku, whoa, Izumi, check this out. He pointed to the manga he wanted. Izumi grinned. Izumi, you should totally get it. It'll look amazing on your shelf. Izuku hesitated. Izuku, maybe we should save up for the panels. Izumi, nah. You can't let today slip away without grabbing something cool. Besides, you're dragon. You have more than enough money. And look, show him Toshinori black credit card. Dad, give me this for today. I know that you hate it, but both try to make things right. You should at least try to give them a chance. I don't say I want to force you to it. Izuku, thanks. Izumi, I'll try, but I don't make any promises. Izumi, it's okay. But the manga here, Oni-chan. Izuku, really? Thanks. Okay. They hurried over to of colorful pins. They moved towards the main stage where the first panel was set to start. They squeezed through the crowd, excited murmurs filling the air as fans discussed theories and favorite moments from their beloved series. As they settled into their seats, Izuku couldn't help but feel grateful. Moments like these with Izumi were rare and special. The lights dimmed, and the panel began, focusing on upcoming anime releases. They laughed, cheered, and exchanged knowing glances as the creators shared behind-the-scenes stories. When the panel wrapped up, Izumi pulled out a portable game console. Izumi, want to battle before we head to the next one? She asked with a mischievous grin. Izuku, sure. Just remember, I am never going easy on you. Izuku shot back, his competitive spirit igniting. The two siblings found a quieter corner amidst the chaos to play. As they competed, they traded playful banter and laughter, their voices blending seamlessly into the vibrant atmosphere of Comic-Con. Eventually, the day drew on, and they wandered through Artist Alley, admiring incredible fan art and collectibles. Izuku stopped at a table displaying a stunning piece of artwork. Izuku, this is amazing, he said, captivated. Izuku, I wish I could draw like this. Izumi leaned closer, admiring the details. Izumi, maybe we can commission. Began to set outside the convention center, casting warm hues across the sky. Izuku looked at Izumi, his heart full of joy. Izuku, thanks for today, Izumi. I had a blast. Izumi, me too, Oni-chan. We should make this an annual thing. Next costume. Izuku, costume. Izuku chuckled, scratching the back of his head. Izuku, I'll think about it. With one final look at the bustling halls, the two siblings headed towards the exit, chatting excitedly about their favorite moments of the day. For Izuku, Comic-Con wasn't just about the heroes and stories. It was about sharing those experiences with someone who understood him best. To his sister, Izumi, and that made the day all the more memorable. At night, the homie Meech, Izumi, Oni-chan. How dare you use me like a beast in heat? Slow down back there. Izuku, I'm sorry. Izumi. Grunt, you just feel so good inside I can't help myself. Izumi, blushing, don't you tell me that. How crude behavior of you, Oni-chan. Bending me over like this. Izuku was currently Izumi in their room doggy style. Deep inside her walls, Izumi has her face deep in her pillow trying to muffle out her Izumi thought. The way he says hips in me is so vulgar, but I love it. Oni-chan, who knew you had this side to you the whole time? The rest of the night was another sleepless night. No one POV. Izumi walk towards 1B classroom. Flashback. Skin slap Izumi ***. Oni-chan, slow down back there. You're gonna break me. Izuku only response was 𝗬𝗵𝗃𝗲 her butt cheeks and move his hips deeper inside Izumi tunnel, causing her to deep her head in the pillow so she can silence the a bit. Flashback. And Izumi was just a few meters between her class when the 1A that are now in sidekick course got in her way. Izumi great. Shoka * angry look * because of you, Izumi, now we're in the sidekick course, instead of hero course. Izumi, I told you I'll make you pay for what you've done. Ochako, you also bully Deku. Why you're not in the sidekick course as well? Izumi, because unlike you, I took responsibility for my actions and helped Oni-chan exposed you our true colors. Momo, doesn't matter. Once we manage to get our classmates from prison, we'll make sure Deku pay. And you as well. Izumi started to laugh. Kyoka, what's so funny? Izumi, the thing about what Momo said. It's hilarious. Tsuyu, and why is that? Izumi, Katsuki and Katsumi died in a prison riot. Izumi, know about Katsuki and Katsumi execution, meaning you're bluffing. Izumi then pulled her phone and showed them the news. The former students of UA who were villains all along died in a prison riot. They were fined with bullets holes from the prisoners who stole some weapons. Denki, when did that happen? Izumi, 2 days after they were arrested. I have to admit, UA is much quietly without them around. Look at Momo and how you're going to make Oni-chan pay. You got disowned by your father and you are, excuse my language, beach of a mother who liked to SCK got arrested for cheating and threatening. Momo mother got arrested for cheating, threatening Izuku when he was little. Izuku found out about Momo mother being a cheater when Izuku was 13 years old and she threatened him she'll kill him if he talk. Momo wouldn't want nothing more than to destroy everyone who ruin her life, and the ones who did it are none other than Izuku and Izumi. She created a pole and got ready to smash on Izumi face. But Izumi easily evaded Izumi, like Oni-chan said. Dodge, you lack DSP, * dodge * control dodge and worst * dodge * you're sloppy. Izumi caught the pole by the end and twisted, along with Momo hands and disarmed her. Izumi, I don't know why you still insist in doing this. You're already in deep SHT. You want to be in more SHT. Momo, Deku ruined our lives. Izumi, still going with that. It's none else's fault, only yours faults. If Katsuki and Katsumi never had a big ego, right now they'll be alive and you weren't in the sidekick course. I thought their deaths was going to wake you up to reality, but you're like them. Narcissistic piece of SHT who never admit their wrongdoing. Denki, we never do anything wrong. Izumi, say the dimwit who fry his brains whenever he used his quirk too much. Look at Shoto, I don't know what I saw in you for having a crush on you. Shoto * smirk * if you beg, I might reconsider you as my wife. Izumi, do you really think I'll go with you? You're an egoistic idiot and plus. What can you do with your 1-inch pages? Shoto, my thing is Izumi, 1-inch Shoto * angry * I said my thing is Izumi in Tenya, but besides, you're a pebble compared to Oni-chan. 15-inch strong. Kyoka, how did you know that? Izumi * smile * because yesterday he F my brains out. Slap her, but was claimed by Oni-chan. Tenya, I'll arrest him for RP. Izumi, no wonder Tensei hate you. You're an brick idiot. Both me and Oni-chan agreed to do it. Ochako, that's wrong. Brother and sister shouldn't do that. Izumi, did you forget that Ddraig changed Oni-chan DNA? In DNA we're no longer related, so we can mate whenever we want. Izumi walked past them. While they go angry to their class, Izumi enter inside 1B and she was greeted by her classmates later after the fight with Mirio against 1A and 1B. Izuku and Izumi are going to Night Eye for internship now. Mirio patrol the streets with Izuku who's in his balance breaker and Izumi in her new hero costume since she doesn't have OFA anymore. She changed her costume to resemble more her telekinesis quirk. Mirio, so, what's your hero names? Izuku, I'm the Dragon of Hope. Izumi, I'm telepath. Then a little girl bumped into Izuku's leg. She had white messy hair, a horn on her right side of the forehead and wearing a dirty hospital coat. Izuku, hey, there little one. Are you alright? Then a voice was heard, Eri, stop disturbing the nice heroes. Eri fear intensify. A man wearing a green coat with purple fur and a plague mask came overhaul. Sorry for my daughter. Izuku, why is she all bandaged up? Overhaul, she's very clumsy. Now Eri. Overhaul started to take off his gloves. Eri saw that and got out from Izuku hold and goes with Overhaul. Izuku at the time when he touched Eri, he secretly used one of his spells and saw Eri memories. Izuku asterisk, stand up asterisk, I'm going out for a walk. Izuku spread his wings and fly up in the sky. Mirio, will he be alright? Izumi, I don't know. With Izuku, he fly up in the air. Then he roared. All of Japan heard the roar. After Night Eye meeting, Izuku was invited to Ryukyu private beach. He don't know why Ryuko asked him for a day at the beach. Arriving there, he saw Ryuko wearing a very tight swimsuit and it showed her developed melons. Izuku turned his head, avoiding those large melons. Ryuko walked towards Izuku and make him look at her. Ryuko, don't ignore me, cutie. She then him on the lips, while shoving her tongue in his mouth. Izuku tried to fight back but he couldn't. She then released the embrace. Ryuko, you're a very good kisser. She then make her wings appear. Ryuko, for why I called you here. She then grabbed his hands. Ryuko, I want you to fly with me. Izuku WWH hat. Ryuko, I want you to fly with me. I want you to feel the sensation of flying. We're both dragons. Ddraig, asterisk partner, I guess you should just go with her. You know you don't have other choice. Izuku, finding he has no solution, he make his balance breaker wings and he fly with Ryuko. The sunset appear. Ryuko was above Izuku and their hands intertwined. Ryuko, I never had the chance to fly with another dragon like me. Asterisk, look at the sky. Asterisk, we should go back to the house. Izuku and Ryuko fly back to the beach house. Time skip. Thanks to Kurumi, Izuku returned home in the morning after a night of a dragon in heat. Tomorrow will be the raid. Even if they're in the sidekick course, Ochako, Tsuyu and Ejiro were internship with Ryuko and 𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗏. Izuku POV, tomorrow we're going to raid Overhaul base. But for now I have to patrol with one I hate the most. Ejiro Kirishima aka Red Riot. No one POV. Izuku is patrolling through the city in balance breaker together with Red Riot and he doesn't like Izuku being in charge because he's in the sidekick course while Izuku is in the hero course. Tomorrow all of the heroes are in the front of the Yakuza house. Everything was normal when a giant villain appeared. Ryukyu transformed in her dragon form. Ryukyu, go. I'll handle him. The others continued to move forward. Ochako, Tsuyu and Nijire remained to help her. Night Eye managed to open the secret passage. More Yakuza members comes. Bubble Girl, Centipeder and some police officers remained to handle it. The others continued their raid. A hand was about to catch Eraserhead, but 𝗵𝗃𝗄𝗏 pushed him out of the way, but he didn't know that Red to save Eraserhead. Then the walls begin to move, separated all of them. 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃 goes to face Overhaul. Eraserhead was with Izuku and Izumi. Night Eye with the police officers. Rocklock was single. Then all of them heard sound of fighting from Rocklock. Eraserhead, Izuku, can you use your dragon flames to melt the wall? Izuku, I'll try. Izuku shoot a wave of flames so hot that the wall melted and they advanced. Eraserhead, Rocklock, are you alright? There was two Rocklock, one was on the ground, the other wasn't. The one awake said a fake one appeared and attacked me. Eraserhead looked at the one laying on the ground. Eraserhead thought, a knife wound. Midoriya, are you alright? Then Izuku punched Rocklock in the stomach. Izumi, Oni-chan, what have you done? Then Eraserhead used his quirk. Eraserhead, I see all. The Rocklock that was punched by Izuku melted, revealing Toga Himiko. She rushed with her knife towards Izuku. Meanwhile, 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃, today, you lose. Overhaul. He catch Eri. 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃, don't worry. I'll be your hero. He put Eri down and then he launched to attack Overhaul again. Overhaul was having trouble with 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃 power, so he give the bullets to Chrono. What should I do? I have only one bullet. And he'll phase through it. Then he aimed at Eri and shoot it. 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃 got in the way and he was shoot to protect Eri, sacrificing his quirk. Overhaul, you sacrifice your quirk to save the girl. Now you'll lose. 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃, so what? With quirk or not, I'm still 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃. Even without his quirk, he was still strong. Overhaul was having trouble with 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃. Even without his quirk, he still overpower him, so Overhaul put Eri in danger and 𝗵𝗏𝗻𝗃 got hurt. Then Overhaul got hit by some stamps in the face. Night Eye came and hugged both Mirio and Eri. Night Eye, you did an amazing job. Night Eye goes to fight overhaul Izuku, 𝗬𝗧𝗟𝗑 and Izumi comes and helped 𝗵𝗃𝗻 despite Night Eye's skill, he was defeated by 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗍𝗄, now I win. Then a voice yelled his name, it was Izuku 𝗵𝗃𝗍𝗍𝗄. He looked at Izuku and he saw the anger in his green glowing eyes and the burning of hatred and wrath. Izuku/Ddraig, you'll pay for what you did. Izuku then blitzed and punched Overhaul in the air, then Overhaul fused with the big villain from earlier and become an abomination, a desolate urban landscape, remnants of a once thriving city now marred by Overhaul's chaotic power. Crumbling buildings and debris litter the streets, creating a battleground. The air crackles with tension, a storm brewing in the distance as Izuku stood in the middle of the street. Izuku stood amidst the ruins, his fists clenched, his usual green attire was stained with dirt and grime, and his hands shook with barely contained energy. Deep within him, Ddraig resonated, an ancient power, eager to be unleashed. He could feel the transformation beginning, the familiar surge of energy coursing through his veins. Izuku, I settle over him like an impenetrable armor. Izuku balance breaker burst out in energy, creating a pillar. Izuku, let's do this, Ddraig. Juggernaut drive. The air around him crackled with an intense crimson light, spiraling outwards as his body began to transform. Izuku's green hair ignited into a fierce blaze of red, and his eyes glowed. The overwhelming and intoxicating. He used Juggernaut Drive for the second time. Overhaul stood confidently at the other end of the street, surrounded by a smirk plastered. Overhaul, you think that power will be enough to take me down? His underlings rushed forward as he charged at Izuku, ready to attack in a heartbeat. Izuku charged forward, each step causing the ground to tremor beneath him. The sheer force of his momentum sent shockwaves through the air, sending debris flying in every direction. With a roar that echoed like thunder, he unleashed Ddraig's power, a fist, a blazing red beam that incinerated everything in its path. The henchman Ddraig's face twisted in disbelief as the attack tore through the streets. Luckily, civilians were evacuated. The adrenaline coursing through him heightened his senses. Eyes with had witnessed Izuku, let's see if you can handle this. Izuku launched himself into the air with incredible speed. With a flick of his wrist, he created a massive set of dragon wings made of energy over the very ground beneath Izuku. But in this state, Izuku was too fast, too powerful, and he barely had any control over himself. He twisted midair and landed with a deafening crash that sent shockwaves rippling outward. With a combination of speed and raw power, Izuku closed the distance between them. Overhaul tried to counter with his quirk, reforming Izuku's galactic dragon. He yelled, unleashing a colossal wave of energy that erupted from his body and engulfed Overhaul. The intensity of the attack shattered the nearby structures, creating a fiery inferno that danced around them. After a few minutes, the dust settled. Overconfidence was shattered, fear creeping into his eyes. Overhaul, this is impossible. No one should have this kind of quirk. Izuku, I'm not just anyone. I'm here to protect my friends and everyone you've hurt. I'm the Red Dragon Emperor of Hope. I burn hotter than any fire and bring hope to peoples. Izuku's voicing with the authority of a dragon with newfound ferocity. He entered the final attack. The air crackled with energy as he prepared for his finishing move. Izuku, Ddraig. Let's end this. Jugger in one swift motion, Izuku lunged forward with his fist. The world blurred around him as punch that collided with Overhaul. The 𝗵𝗃𝗁𝗍𝗄 buildings crumbled, and a shockwave radiated outward, pushing everything back for blocks. Where Overhaul had once stood was now a crater, and his reign of terror was obliterated in unseen. Breathing heavily of Ddraig power, Izuku slowly subsiding, he looked around at the destruction, the lives affected. There would be more battles to fight and challenges to overcome. But for now, Izuku must rest. Time skip, thanks to which Kurumi, Izuku was Izumi doggy style in their room. Since she find out about Ddraig, Izumi also learn magic like healing sage arts, but she only use them when they're alone or with Nizu or Hisashi. Izumi find out about Hisashi being a devil. Izumi **𝗵𝗃 Oni-chan, I know I have to help you restore your life force. But please, slow down back there. You're going to break me. Izuku, I'm sorry Izumi. But inside you feel so good, I can't control myself. Izuku then grabbed her hips and thrust his hips deeper inside Izumi tunnel, causing her to see stars. Author note for those who wondering how Izumi restored Izuku life force. It's simple. Later Izumi, when she was with Izuku at Ria school, She find out she's a descendant with cat powers like Kaneko Izuku POV days passed since the raid. I asked Asia to help me and heal Uncle Night-Eye. But his arm was lost in the raid, so he's now having a prosthesis arm. Now we have to prepare for the cultural festival. No one POV Eri come with Mirio to see the festival. Izuku and his class are getting ready for their number in this crowd. Izuku saw Issei, Rias and her peerage. Izuku and Izumi returned back to UA after the fight with Gentle and 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Meanwhile, A started to get ready for their concert since Katsuki and Katsumi were dead in the prison riot. Ejiro took the drums. Kyoko was at the microphone and it started after they were finished. They looked with a look of ready. Everyone was waiting for 1B to start their performance. Then Izuku appear on a chair and on a high ground. Izuku had a quitter which he started to hit on it. Gently the rest of 1B started to glow up some glowing sticks and dance with them while Izuku was singing. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the 𝗵𝗃𝗏. The winds blew up, her bow dipped down. Oh blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side, harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not of greed and he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more the line went slack then tight once more. All boats were lost. There were only 4 but still that whale did go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut, and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day, when the tonguing is done we'll take our leave and go. Music and silence. Until Eri was smiling for the first time. It was an honest smile and Eri was like a beacon of light. Mirio was crying of joy that Eri is now free from overhaul influence. Time skip, thanks to Kurumi. After the festival, Izuku and Izumi look at each other. Izuku, Izumi, did you get accustomed with your Nico part? Izumi * make her cat ears and tail appear *. It's still new to me, Oni-chan. But I'll get used to it. Izuku, by the way, I think Mirio should have OFA since his quirk is no more. Izumi, you're right about that. Later, after they took Mirio to talk with Toshinori and told him about OFA and how it can be transferred, Mirio accepted Toshinori. Now you must train to use it. GT, and that's why I'm here. Crack his knuckles. Days later, Izuku and Izumi helped Mirio to train with Gran Torino to Sosfei. Then every student and teacher came and they saw the League of Villains with a dozen of 𝗏𝗔 ectoplasm students. We know we can't allow you to fight midnight, but this time, we'll make an exception. Get ready. Izumi, are you ready, Oni-chan? Izuku balance breaker. Ddraig, Welsh dragon. Izuku balance breaker appear. Izuku, ready as I'll ever be. Heroes and villains clashed at each other. No one POV. Years passed since the clash of heroes and villains happened. Both sides lost some lives. From one, Mineta was eaten by a gnome. Midnight lost a leg. Magnet an arm. Eraserhead lost one eye and a leg. Hawks lost his quirk. Endeavor lost an arm and he retired to spend more time with his family. Many students had only concussion. Izuku defeated Tamura, but what cost? Because of having too much quirks. Both him and AFO died from being eaten by the quirks and died. They're having too much quirks and their body reached their limits until their body break. The rest of the villains were free for good behavior and got reformed as civilians. Momo is now in house arrest for live because she tried to make a child with Izuku and that way, to get her hands on his fortune, but it didn't work and she's in a local prison house and she's wearing an ankle bracelet. Her mother was trying to flee to Spain under a fake name, Roberta Rodriguez, but it didn't work and got prison for life. As for Izuku, he adopted Eri and Koda after a mistake because they called him Papa/Dad and Izuku decided to adopt them his girlfriends. Only 1B, got 𝗵𝗃 after they graduated and retire from being heroes. 𝗵𝗃 lady, burning. Ryuko and the Puscats sometimes got in Izuku, but after his girlfriends got 𝗵𝗃, they stopped. He rose in the rank and now he's #1 hero, second places. Mirio with Ohin. Now Izuku is visiting in her local prison. Momo, you have guts to come here. Momo was wearing casual clothes inside the house. To make it clear, it's a local house prison with a perimeter and Momo can't pass out from the perimeter because of the ankle bracelet, and her quirk isn't working because the bracelet is also canceling her quirk. Izuku, I don't want to come here either. Momo grabbed the mug of coffee and throw it at Izuku, who dodge it. Momo, it's your fault I'm here. If you hate kept your mouth shut, I'll at my mansion. Izuku, you brought this to yourself. I only expose your mother. Who took the beach side? You did. Who bully me for something beyond my control? You did. Who tried to force me to have a kid with? You did. It's all your fault. You followed the mutts all those years ago and look what happened. They died. 3 years ago, the pervert died as well. And because of your stupidity. Momo vein looks like it will pop. She charged at Izuku and tried to kick Izuku tank it. Izuku grabbed her leg and then put Momo in a bear hug. Credit goes to Iriona wrestling on DeviantArt. Izuku squeezed Momo like a bottle of ketchup until Momo passed out. Then he placed her on the couch and look at her. Izuku, I don't know why I had a crush on you. And Izuku leave end.